Chapter 1088. However, Yi Xian knew that they were in trouble this time. The eyes of death had only appeared for a few seconds, and the land of the dead was about to fall into chaos. When Yi Xian broke through the void and returned to the sect of the God of Ghost, he found that a large number of dead people had crawled out of the sect of the God of Ghost. Those who had died in the sect of the God of Ghost had all broken out of the soil and reformed into walking corpses, even if they had rotted until only bones were left. What's going on? The ghost spirit ancestors, who were waiting for Yi Xian's reply in the sect of the God of Ghost, did not know what had happened. They could only watch the dead people crawl out of the ground and attack them. Yi Xian just happened to return. Looking at this scene, he could not help but think to himself, the appearance of the eyes of death has affected the death aura of the entire land of the dead. Even the sect of the God of Ghost, which is so far away, has changed. The eyes of death appeared in the territory of the Corpse King Palace. The sect of the God of Ghost was countless miles away, but it had also changed. It was just as Mini Sky Dragon had said. The land of the dead was about to fall into chaos. What's going on? Yu quickly rushed over and asked. There will be a great calamity in the land of the dead. I'm afraid we can't stay in the sect of the God of Ghost. Gather quickly and leave with me. Yi Xian explained, but he did not explain how the calamity had happened. The land of the dead had been formed for thousands of years. The number of people who had died in the land of the dead was definitely a terrifying number. Although the sect of the God of Ghost was powerful, it could not keep killing. Therefore they could only move. When Gue He, the founder of the sect of the God of Ghost, heard this, he did not ask for the specific reason and immediately ordered the disciples and elders of the sect of the God of Ghost to gather. Yi Xian had the eyes of the void, so it was not a problem for him to send them away. Soon, the people who were still in the sect of the God of Ghost quickly gathered together. There were several people in total. Then, Yi Xian directly broke through the void and sent them away. The land of the dead would not be peaceful, so Yi Xian sent them away directly. As for their destination, it was the Wind Snow Villa. Yi Xian led the way through the void door, then continuously burned his eye energy to send the disciples and elders of the Ghost God sect in. For experts of this level, even if there were 5,000 people queuing up to pass through a door, it would only take a few seconds. Soon, the entire sect of the God of Ghost passed through the Void Gate and arrived at the Wind Snow Villa. When the people of Wind Snow Manor saw such a large group of experts in ghost spirits, they were scared out of their wits. Any one of these people could easily sweep through Wind Snow Manor. However, at this moment, the people from Blizzard Villa discovered that the leader of the group was Yi Xian, and they immediately felt relieved. Yi Xian, what's going on? Feng Wuhan immediately flew over and asked. Something happened in the land of the dead. I brought the clan of the God of Ghosts here to seek refuge, Yi Xian answered directly. As soon as he said that, Feng Wuhan and the other disciples of the Wind Snow Villa who had surrounded him were so scared that they almost wet themselves. Sect of the God of Ghosts? Feng Wuhan was tongue-tied. Wasn't the sect of the God of Ghost one of the two overlords of the land of the dead? Any one of its disciples could sweep through the entire Wind Snow Villa. Not to mention its disciples, even ghost spirits could do it. However, there were thousands of people here at this time. If these people hadn't restrained their auras, some of the people from Wind Snow Manor would have died because their hearts couldn't bear it. At this time, Shui Hong and Feng Wuchen also rushed over. After the death of the corpse man, Feng Wuchen had recovered his memory, so Yi Xian directly released him. Yi Xian, why are there so many experts from the sect of the God of Ghosts here? Shui Hong asked worriedly. Something happened in the land of the dead. Senior, has the dead been resurrected in Wind Snow Manor before? Yi Xian hurriedly asked. Resurrected? Shui Hong was stunned. She shook her head and replied, No. Hearing this, Yi Xian also breathed a sigh of relief and said, In that case, I'll let the sect of the God of Ghosts stay in the Myriad Snow Mountain first. Immediately, he led thousands of people from the sect of the God of Ghosts into the Myriad Snow Mountain. There were Spirit Disaster Super Supreme Holy Beasts in the Myriad Snow Mountain, but they were only low-level ones. The sect of the God of Ghosts could sweep through the Myriad Snow Mountain alone. Yi Xian estimated that there were millions or even tens of millions of walking corpses in the land of the dead now. Unfortunately, killing these corpses gave him no experience points, so he was too lazy to destroy them. The people from the sect of the God of Ghosts camped at the entrance of the Myriad Snow Mountain. Almost none of these people had left the land of the dead. Only a small number of them wandered outside, looking for talented people, but they didn't dare to summon powerful ghost spirits. However, they were worried about something else. Little brother Yi, although I don't know what happened in the land of the dead, if the 8 families in the north know that we left the land of the dead in such a large scale. Gui, he said with a frown. Yi Xian understood what he meant and replied, the change in the land of the dead was caused by someone who is countless times stronger than the 8 families. Now that the land of the dead is in chaos, there will definitely be undead creatures leaving. The 8 families will definitely send experts to kill them, so we won't be able to return to the land of the dead in a short time. Countless times stronger than the 8 families. Gui He and the others couldn't help but tremble when they heard this. Senior, how strong are the 8 families? Yi Xian asked again. Although he didn't know the strength of the 8 families, according to the mini sky dragon, the Eye of Death was condensed from a huge amount of death intent. Its level was definitely much higher than the 8 families. Even if he didn't know the strength of the 8 families, he could guarantee it. I'm not very sure either, but the sect of the God of Ghosts is like an ant to the 8 families. Gui He shook his head. I heard that the 8 families are built next to a cross-realm teleportation formation? Yi Xian asked. Gui He nodded. That's right. The 8 families do control a cross-realm teleportation formation to the glazed light sacred ground. However, this teleportation formation is controlled by the 8 families. If little brother Yi wants to use it, I'm afraid it won't be that easy. After hearing this, Yi Xian fell silent. Now, he was very close to the glazed light sacred ground. However, if he wanted to use the cross-realm teleportation formation, he would need the approval of the 8 families. My current strength is still too weak. I have to break through to the manifestation realm as soon as possible. Yi Xian thought to himself. Just now, he almost died. He didn't want to experience that feeling of helplessness again. Therefore, after he settled the sect of the God of Ghosts, he broke through the void again and returned to the Corpse King Palace. As expected, the Corpse King Palace was already filled with people. However, these people were all corpses that had crawled up from the ground. It's really been occupied. Chapter 1089. Young Master, if all the dead in the land of the dead are resurrected, the 8 great families will definitely know about it. What if they trace it back to the Wind Snow Manor? Luo asked. If they really find it, then let's go back to the Blood Cliff continent. They can't do anything about it. Yi Xian replied. The Blood Cliff continent was a continent under the Blood Cliff sect, and there were dozens of forces like the Blood Cliff sect in this area. They were also connected to these low-level continents, and the total number was probably more than 10,000. As long as the Ghost God sect hid in the Blood Cliff continent, the 8 great families wouldn't investigate these continents one by one. Just as the two were talking, some corpses discovered them. There may be many hidden treasures in the Corpse King Palace. Luo, clear all the corpses in the Corpse King Palace. Yi Xian said in a low voice. Now that the Corpse King of the Corpse King Palace was almost dead, almost all the treasures had fallen into his hands. However, he was still a little bit away from reaching the peak of the 3 supreme sovereign disasters. Only when he reached the peak would he know if he needed a breakthrough item. Okay. Luo nodded and immediately split into hundreds of figures and began to whip the corpses that had overestimated themselves. At the same time, Yi Xian also swallowed a large number of ghost spirits and used the Ghost God transformation, causing his aura to skyrocket. But this time, he didn't use the Ghost God fist, but another move. 100 Ghost Rush. Countless black figures pounced and instantly tore the corpses into pieces. The 100 Ghost Rush consumed less death chi than the Ghost God fist. Yi Xian used it several times in a row and directly cleared more than half of the Corpse King Palace. In a short while, the entire Corpse King Palace was filled with corpses. These corpses were also miserable. They had died once, but they were resurrected and died again in the end. Then, Yi Xian and Luo began to search the Corpse King Palace. Unfortunately, the Crimson Blood Corpse King had been spat to death by the mini sky dragon. Otherwise, Yi Xian could ask him. After all, the Crimson Blood Corpse King was the current Corpse King Palace master. There were still many treasures in the Corpse King Palace, but most of them were taken away by the disciples and elders of the Corpse King Palace. At this time, Yi Xian remembered that Digging Corpse King and Bramble Corpse King had been killed by Immortal Corpse Kings. Their corpses were still underground. Below the Corpse King Palace, there was a corpse pool. Even though the Burrowing Corpse King and Bramble Corpse King were killed by the Immortal Corpse King, They were revived by the will of death. When Yi Xian arrived at the Corpse King Palace, he saw the Bramble Undead King and the Burrowing Undead King. Since I've died twice, I'll die once more. Yi Xian didn't say anything else as he directly killed the two Corpse Kings and seized their universe rings. Just a little bit more. I think I'll be done after going out for a few more rounds. Thinking of this, Yi Xian left immediately. Of course, in order to increase efficiency, he decided to use a two-pronged approach. He sent his true body and avatar separately, preparing to go to several forces near the Corpse King Palace to take a look. At the same time, he ordered the Scarlet Flame Corpse King and White Bone Corpse King under his control to start plundering. He estimated that he would be able to reach the peak of the three supreme sovereign disasters in a day. The peak of the three supreme sovereign disasters required one to pass through a great disaster to break through to the manifestation realm. This great disaster had stopped many people. In the land of the dead, no one had succeeded. Therefore, Yi Xian felt that he would also be stuck here. He had to collect the necessary materials to break through to the manifestation realm. After leaving the Corpse King Palace, his true body rushed towards the nearest force. One had to admit that the Eye of Death was too terrifying. It actually drew the death chi in the land of the dead, reviving all the dead in the land of the dead. Along the way, Yi Xian could see these walking corpses everywhere. However, for him who had unlimited true chi, it was only a matter of a few sword strikes. Soon, he found a force under the Corpse King Palace. This force couldn't escape the calamity. Moreover, they didn't have the ability to resist the revival of the dead, so they were annihilated. In the entire sect, there wasn't a single survivor. Good luck. Yi Xian looked at the force below and the corner of his mouth slightly curled up. He wasn't rejoicing in their misfortune. In this world where the strong were respected, those without strength would be eliminated. Immediately, he rushed down and cleaned up all the corpses in the force. At the same time, he collected the universe rings. Ding! The host has reached the shackles of the three supreme sovereign disasters. If the host wants to break through, the following items must be collected. After Yi Xian was done, he heard a series of system notifications. As expected, there was still a hurdle to break through from the three supreme sovereign disasters to the manifestation realm. In the three supreme sovereign disasters, one had to pass the minor disasters. After passing them, one's strength would increase by a lot. This major disaster was the shackles of the 9th grade spirit disaster to break through to the manifestation realm. Even the Corpse King Palace and the God of Ghost sect didn't have a human who could break through this shackles. Yi Xian hurriedly swept a glance and found that there were a total of 7 items required. Only by collecting these 7 items could one break through, not just one of the 7. As expected, they are all items to strengthen the heart and soul. Yi Xian's eyes flickered. Previously, he had heard that in order to break through to the manifestation realm from the 9th grade spirit disaster, one had to build a soul altar. The spirit realm and spirit disaster all increased the soul. But from the manifestation realm onwards, it was the soul that increased the soul. This major disaster was to build a soul altar. Whether it was the 9th grade spirit disaster experts of the God of Ghost sect or the Corpse King Palace, they were all stuck at this point and couldn't build a soul altar. Of the 7 essential items, I have seen 3 of them before, but I devoured them. As for the remaining 4, I have never heard of them. Yi Xian finally understood why no one in the land of the dead had broken through to the manifestation realm. It was because they lacked natural treasures that could strengthen the heart and soul. As long as he gathered these natural treasures, he would be able to break through to the manifestation realm. At that time, with the power of the manifestation realm, his strength would increase by at least 10 times. Now, he had another goal, and that was to collect these 7 natural treasures. However, at this moment, Yi Xian's eyebrows suddenly rose. He felt that one of the people he controlled had died. The White Bone Corpse King. What's going on? The White Bone Corpse King actually died. Although the land of the dead has changed, with his strength, he shouldn't have died. Yi Xian was confused. The White Bone Corpse King was a manifestation realm expert. Now that the God of Ghost sect and the Corpse King Palace were destroyed, no one should be his opponent. However, he actually died. The 8 Great Families. This name flashed in Yi Xian's mind. He guessed that the death of the White Bone Corpse King should be related to the 8 Great Families. Flaming Corpse King, come and meet me. Immediately, Yi Xian gave the order to the Flaming Corpse King through the air. He had ordered the Flaming Corpse King to loot the dead, But now that the White Bone Corpse King had died, the Flaming Corpse King might encounter people from the 8 great families. Chapter 1090. The 8 great families are powerful. Now that such a change has occurred in the land of the dead, it will cause chaos in the surroundings. The 8 great families have probably received this news and sent experts. Yi Xian thought and then went to the designated place to meet with the Flaming Corpse King. Half a day later. Master. The Flaming Corpse King immediately rushed to Yi Xian's designated location and saw Yi Xian. Then, he directly handed over the items. Yi Xian was now stuck at the shackle point. There was no benefit in continuing to devour. But he was looking for the Flaming Corpse King to find the 7 treasures. After Yi Xian checked the universe ring handed over by the Flaming Corpse King, he couldn't help but show a gratified smile. Well done, you found one. Yi Xian nodded in satisfaction. Then he handed the universe ring to Luo Luo and asked, Luo, how long do you need to break through? Me. I'm cultivating a special cultivation method. I can build a soul altar very soon. Maybe 2 or 3 days, but not more than 7 days. Luo answered. Good. Yi Xian nodded again. In 7 days, Luo could build her first soul altar and break through to the manifestation realm. The Flaming Corpse King, the White Bone Corpse King, is dead. Have you seen him or the experts of the 8 great families? Yi Xian turned and asked again. No. The Flaming Corpse King shook his head. Okay, I understand. Yi Xian didn't ask again. This time, the expert sent by the 8 great families should be in the manifestation realm. The Flaming Corpse King wasn't strong. Even if he encountered a first-level manifestation realm expert, he probably couldn't escape death. Then, Yi Xian let the Flaming Corpse King leave. He continued to collect the treasures. He found 3 before, but didn't know they were needed for a breakthrough, so he directly devoured them. It seemed that he could find 3 more. However, not long after the Flaming Corpse King left. Bang! Suddenly, a deafening sound caught Yi Xian's attention. This earth-shattering noise might have been the sound of the Flaming Corpse King slaughtering the walking corpses on the road, but it made Yi Xian's expression change greatly. Because the Crimson Flame Corpse King was actually dead. This sound was not the sound of the Crimson Flame Corpse King killing the corpse, but the sound of the Crimson Flame Corpse King being killed. Young master, what's wrong? Luo asked with a blank expression. The 8 great clans are nearby. Let's go and take a look. Yi Xian replied and immediately took Luo in the direction that the Scarlet Flame Corpse King had just left. Although the Flaming Corpse King was once an enemy, he was now under Yi Xian's control. Now that he was dead, Yi Xian naturally wanted to avenge him. Soon, Yi Xian sensed a powerful aura that was much stronger than the Flaming Corpse King. There's no aura of death. He really is a human manifestation realm expert. Yi Xian immediately reacted. Although the Flaming Corpse King was at the manifestation realm, he had not constructed a soul altar and did not have the power of manifestation, so his strength was much weaker than a true manifestation realm expert. Yi Xian estimated that this manifestation realm expert's strength surpassed the immortal Corpse King, which was a Corpse King close to the 3rd level of the manifestation realm. But so what? When he approached, he found a man in blue clothes. This blue-clothed man also found him and Luo and was looking at them. Humans? This blue-clothed man also showed a disdainful expression when he felt that Yi Xian and Luo were only at the 9th level of spirit disaster. They really are from the 8 great clans. When Yi Xian saw the clan insignia on the blue-clothed man's clothes, he immediately confirmed it. The 8 great clans, Zhao, Qian, Sun, Li, Zhou, Wu, Zheng, and Wang. This blue-clothed man was from the Wang clan of the 8 great clans. The blue-clothed man looked at Yi Xian and Luo approaching and asked in a mocking tone, Kid, which sect are you from? Hearing this question, Yi Xian did not immediately answer. Instead, he glanced at the corpse beside the blue-clothed man's feet. The Flaming Corpse King's head had already been blasted apart by the blue-clothed man. Although they were both at the 1st level of the manifestation realm, the Flaming Corpse King was much weaker than the blue-clothed man and was instantly killed. The 8 great clans want to destroy the land of the dead? Yi Xian turned around and asked. The land of the dead has existed for 1,000 years and nothing has happened, so our 8 great clans are too lazy to care. But today, a large number of uncontrolled corpses are pouring out of the land of the dead. Then there is no need for the land of the dead to exist. The blue-clothed man said indifferently. As expected, You want to destroy the entire land of the dead. Yi Xian's heart trembled and asked again, "Then how many of you came?" "Kid, why are you asking so many questions?" The blue-clothed man narrowed his eyes and said, "All right, the order I received was to destroy all living beings in the land of the dead. Although you are still a human, I am still following orders." Dang. As soon as he finished speaking, the blue-clothed man waved his right hand and a formless energy blasted towards Yi Xian. The force of all creations? Yi Xian's eyes widened. Although he could not see, he could feel it. This was the first time he saw the force of all creations, but it would not be the last time. What a guy! He dares to say that he wants to destroy all living beings in the land of the dead. Just as well, I want to take revenge on you. Yi Xian shouted in his heart and directly attacked. Eye of Glory! Golden Dragon, catch your hand. A giant golden hand appeared and directly crushed the force of all creations. At the same time, Yi Xian also used a mental attack on the blue-clothed man. Oh, superpower? The blue-clothed man directly ignored the burning eye and the eye of illusion and was slightly surprised. A manifestation realm expert had built a soul altar and had extremely strong mental power. Unless Yi Xian broke through to the manifestation realm, he would not be able to hurt this blue-clothed man. Although the mental attack was useless, Yi Xian still had other methods. Tyrannical Emperor's limitless sword. A giant sword was formed in an instant, and then it fell directly. Humph! Insignificant skill. The blue-clothed man only snorted softly and wrapped himself in the force of all creations. Facing the giant golden sword, he raised his hand and punched. Boom! The fist, reinforced by the force of all creations, collided with the giant golden sword. A strong impact swept out. Yi Xian did not use his trump card. Is this the force of all creations? It is powerful. Yi Xian secretly swallowed. It had only been 2 days since 10,000 swords returned to origin, so he could not use it now. However, in the situation of 2 against 1, if he still could not beat his opponent, he might as well kill himself. Don't forget, Yi Xian was not fighting one-on-one, but in a group fight. Ghost God Transformation. Ghost God Fist. Yi Xian directly refined 3 9th-level spirit disaster-level ghost spirits, then struck out with 2 Ghost God Fists from the left and right. Not only that, Luoluo also directly used 100-layer Demon Fox Avatar. Chapter 1091. 100 Layers of Shackles. Hundreds of Luoluos threw out the chains in their hands. As long as they trapped the man in green, he would be dead for sure. However, the strength of the All Creations force had exceeded Yi Xian and Luoluo's expectations. The man in green clenched his fists and threw out 2 punches. His true chi and All Creations force merged and scattered the 2 Ghost God Fists. Not only that, but the true chi chains thrown out by Luoluo were all scattered by the man's All Creations force. Tisk. TSK. TSK. You guys are quite capable. If it weren't for the orders from above to kill, I would have recruited you. The corners of the man's mouth curled up slightly. Yi Xian and Luoluo were quite talented and had reached the peak of the 3 supreme sovereign disasters. However, it would not be easy for them to deal with the All Creations realm elite. Now, Yi Xian and Luoluo's expressions finally changed. They knew how powerful All Creations realm elites were, but they did not expect them to be this powerful. The All Creations force was all-encompassing. Even if Yi Xian could use all returning swords now, all the heaven-shaking swords would probably be broken by the All Creations force. All right, I still have things to do. You guys can go now. The man in green muttered. In the next moment, Yi Xian and Luoluo felt an extremely strong suction force that forced them to fly toward the man in green. The All Creations force was equivalent to Yi Xian's double space when he was a Void God Great Emperor. However, it was many times more powerful than that. The man in green wanted to suck Yi Xian and Luoluo over and kill them with 2 punches. Irresistible. Yi Xian's expression was gloomy. He was already prepared to break through the void and enter. However, the man in green had obviously underestimated them. They might be able to make use of this last attack. Luoluo. Yi Xian hurriedly shouted in his mind. Understood. Luoluo immediately understood. Since she was attracted, why not make use of it? The man in green still had a smile on his face, but in the next moment, his smile suddenly stopped. He saw Luoluo's hair suddenly turn golden, and her feet were rapidly moving on the ground. The azure-robed man's eyes widened. However, at this moment, Luoluo had already turned into a golden flash of light and swept past his body. Hiss! With a crisp sound, the man in green's head was tossed into the air. At the same time, the strength of all creations exerted on Yi Xian's body disappeared in an instant. Well done! Yi Xian paused for a moment. He couldn't help but exclaim in admiration when he saw the man's head fly up. Carelessness. It was carelessness again. The death of the azure-robed man was due to carelessness. If he had used his full strength, he might not have been able to kill Yi Xian and Luoluo, but he wouldn't have died. Luoluo's demon fox flash was faster than Yi Xian, and with the help of the 10,000 mammoths force, her speed was multiplied, which was why she was able to succeed. Most likely, this green-robed man did not expect that he would die in this damned place. The land of the dead was not a good place to sleep. Since the Azura's eye had disappeared, the azure-robed man would not revive. Looking at the azure-robed man's corpse, Luoluo snorted in dissatisfaction. I hate it when people look down on me. Now he's dead. This time, Yi Xian had Luoluo to thank. However, in order to kill this azure-robed man, Luoluo had transformed again. One had to know that every time Luoluo transformed, she would use at least one strand of golden tail hair. Now, her golden tail hair was decreasing. A manifestation realm expert is actually this strong. He's only at the first level of the manifestation realm. If he was at the second level, he would probably be able to kill us instantly. Yi Xian shuddered inside. However, he was not worried because as long as he broke through to the manifestation realm and constructed a soul altar, killing this azure-robed man would be as easy as killing a chicken. Luoluo used her golden tail hair to kill him. I hope she doesn't disappoint me. Yi Xian thought for a moment and then quickly walked over, putting away the azure-robed man's universe ring and corpse. This azure-robed man was extremely proud. The mission of cleaning up all the living beings in the land of the dead was extremely easy for him, so there was no need for him to leave his things with the 8 great families. In this way, Yi Xian benefited. After Yi Xian inspected the universe ring, he could not help but laugh loudly. This azure-robed man's universe ring contained a large amount of treasures. Most importantly, it contained the 7 natural treasures Yi Xian needed. Haha, I've struck gold. Yi Xian roared in his mind. Immediately after, he heard a system notification sound. Ding! Host has survived a great calamity and constructed a soul altar. Host is currently at the first level of the manifestation realm. Yi Xian felt that his body had greatly improved. His physique was at least twice as strong as before. At the same time, a black thing appeared in his dantian. This was the soul altar. The soul altar was filled with black water. This was the soul water. The more soul water there was, the stronger the soul. Not only that, Yi Xian had a new kind of energy in his body, the power of manifestation. At this time, Yi Xian's mind moved, and a burst of manifestation power surged out, enveloping a 100-meter area around him. Boom! The earth trembled. Then the ground under Yi Xian's feet split open and quickly rose into the air. Ah! Luoluo was shocked and turned to look. She found that Yi Xian had used the power of manifestation to lift up a piece of land. It looked like a floating island, and the two of them were standing on this floating island. Is this the power of manifestation? If I use it at full power, I'm afraid I can uproot the entire sect of the God of Ghost and throw it into the sky. Yi Xian's eyes lit up. When he was in the spirit realm, he could fly freely. However, it was impossible for him to lift up an island. He had heard that a manifestation realm expert could move an island before. At the time, he found it inconceivable. Now, he also had the same ability. However, his power of manifestation was not enough, and could only move a small island. Yi Xian's current strength was at least 10 times stronger than half a minute ago. If this blue-clothed man came back to life, Yi Xian's burning eye would probably cause him heart-wrenching pain, and even take control of the other. Yi Xian had constructed a soul altar, and his mind power had greatly increased. It was normal for him to have such an effect. Luoluo, these soul altar construction treasures are for you. Yi Xian threw over the soul-strengthening items in his universe ring. Thank you, young master. With these, I can break through in 2 days. Luoluo hurriedly giggled. Constructing 1 soul altar was the first level of the manifestation realm. Constructing 2 soul altars was the second level of the manifestation realm. Therefore, in this realm, Soul-strengthening items were very important. However, at this time... Chapter 1092. That's right, after breaking through to the manifestation realm, there will be an additional thing called spiritual sense. Yi Xian suddenly recalled this matter. Spiritual sense was similar to the eye of perception, but the range was much smaller, only 1/3 of the eye of perception. What made Yi Xian gratified was that his spiritual sense could be stacked with the eye of perception. Simply speaking, his eye of perception had increased by 1/3. Not only that, his spiritual sense could also look into his body and check the injuries of others. The effect was pretty good. However, to Yi Xian, his inner vision was a useless skill. Then, Yi Xian started to investigate the other things in the universe level of the azure-clothed man. The green-clothed man also knew a divine ability, but due to his carelessness, he was killed by Luo. This divine ability was called the Heavenly Heart Sword Art. Not bad. The Heavenly Heart Sword Art can be considered as half a soul attack. Increasing one's soul energy will also increase one's attack power. With the addition of the manifestation force, its power won't be weak. Yi Xian nodded his head in satisfaction. As a 9th-grade spirit disaster, he couldn't display the true power of the divine ability because he didn't have the manifestation force. Now that he had the manifestation force, if he used the dragon catcher hands, he could probably crush his enemies. Ding! The host has learned the Heavenly Heart Sword Art. The system notified. Divine abilities didn't have proficiency points, so Yi Xian didn't need to spend any more time to practice it. This was pretty good. Luo, find a place to break through first. I'll continue to walk around. After Yi Xian finished speaking, he left his clone here while his original body left. With the manifestation force, he could directly raise this piece of land into the sky. As for Luo, she could directly stand on it. The rest was to find a place. As for Yi Xian's original body, he directly used the manifestation force to support it, so he was like a gust of wind when he ran. Speaking of which, the 8 great families had given the order to kill all living beings in the land of the dead. That meant that there should still be many experts from the 8 great families in the land of the dead. But it was a pity that Yi Xian was only at 9th grade spirit disaster when he fought with the azure-clothed man. If he was at the manifestation realm, he would be able to control the azure-clothed man and interrogate him. However, this didn't matter. With his spiritual sense, as long as he encountered a manifestation realm expert, he would discover them before they did. Along the way, Yi Xian did not need to attack at all. He just used his all-creation's strength to smash the walking corpses around him into pieces. The power of all creations was inexhaustible. He could use it whenever he wanted. At the same time, the strength of this power was directly related to the number of soul altars and the strength of one's soul. Among them, there were quite a few items that could improve one's soul, so Yi Xian directly used the super devouring crystal to exchange for them. His soul strength had increased by half. In the manifestation realm, even if they only have 1 soul altar, as long as they are strong enough, they can fight against 2 soul altars. Yi Xian thought as he ran. Just as he was pondering, the spiritual sense outside the eye of perception suddenly sensed a powerful aura. Wanxiang realm. Haha, I finally found it. Yi Xian laughed loudly on the inside. This manifestation realm expert definitely came from one of the 8 great families. As expected, when Yi Xian flew over, he found that it was an expert from the Zhou family of the 8 great families. This Zhou family expert also found Yi Xian as he approached. How can it be? He's in the manifestation realm? The Zhou family expert was shocked. Didn't they say that there were only manifestation realm beings in the land of the dead? How could there be a human in the manifestation realm? However, when he saw Yi Xian charging over, he did not waste words and directly attacked. Just first level of the manifestation realm. Yi Xian snorted, his eyes flashing. This Zhou family expert felt like his heart was on fire, and he was in so much pain that he wanted to die. At the same time, a giant palm appeared and held the Zhou clan cultivator in its hand. In terms of soul power, Yi Xian was even stronger than this Zhou family expert. Such a young expert, which faction does he belong to? This Zhou family expert could not understand. But in the next moment, he felt a sharp pain in his head. Ding! Control successful. The system notification sounded in Yi Xian's mind. At the same level, and with his soul power greater than the other, Yi Xian's eye of control could easily control him. Chapter 1093. Are you sure it was the same teleportation array that was used 2 years ago? Yi Xian asked in a doubtful tone. I'm not sure. Maybe it was used before. I don't know. Zhou Kai shook his head. There could be 2 possibilities for this trans-realm teleportation array. First, old ancestor Yin Yang left with Song Suijing and Saiju's Song through this teleportation array, but Zhou Kai didn't know. Second, old ancestor Yin Yang didn't leave through this teleportation array. After all, although this teleportation array could teleport to the glazed light sacred ground, the location was different from other teleportation arrays. There was still a distance in between. Maybe old ancestor Yin Yang didn't use this teleportation array because the 8 great families' teleportation array was far away from the Yin Yang temple, so he went to another teleportation array. Damn it! I hope Zhou Kai doesn't know. Otherwise, I'll have to start the investigation again. Yi Xian cursed in his heart. Now that he had asked all the questions, he directly went over and took Zhou Kai's Yin and Yang ring. Unfortunately, there weren't many things in Zhou Kai's Yin and Yang ring. Do the 8 great families have something like the white bone token? Yi Xian asked again. The white bone token was a very convenient thing for the people of the god of ghost sect or ghost spirits to communicate with each other. No. The land of the dead is full of death energy, so the message of the white bone token was spread quickly. Our 8 great families don't have such a thing. We had an order a long time ago. As long as there was a change in the land of the dead, we were to join forces to destroy it. The order was not issued by the Zhou family. Zhou Kai shook his head. Yi Xian wanted to slap Zhou Kai to death, but the latter was right. The land of the dead had been formed for more than 1,000 years. The death energy was very strong. If one's cultivation wasn't high enough, it was very easy to have inner demons or even chi deviation. When the Eye of Death appeared last time, it attracted the death energy of the entire land of the dead. If it appeared in other places, it would at most revive the dead in that area. Forget it. Continue with your work. Keep this white bone medallion well. If you meet anyone from the other 8 great clans, immediately use the white bone medallion to send me a message. Yi Xian handed the universe ring and the bone order to Zhou Kai. If the latter discovered any of his companions, he could inform Yi Xian directly. To put it nicely, this Zhou Kai was a wingman. To put it bluntly, he was a spy. However, he was already under Yi Xian's control. He had no choice but to obey Yi Xian's orders. After that, Yi Xian left. With the power of all creations, his speed was off the charts. While searching for the powerhouses of the 8 great clans, he kept killing those walking corpses. Ding! 10,000 swords return to origin is off cooldown. Finally, the return of 10,000 swords could be used again. During the 9-grade spirit disaster, even if Yi Xian used the myriad returning swords, he might not have been able to defeat that green-robed man. However, now that Yi Xian had broken through to the manifestation realm, if he used the return of 10,000 swords, with the support of the power of all creations, its power would be explosive. After all, when Yi Xian broke through to the manifestation realm, Wei Zhentian had also broken through. Now, Wei Zhentian was called a divine artifact. Unfortunately, the return of 10,000 swords could only be used once every 3 days. Otherwise it would be awesome. Soon. Half a day passed. Young master, I broke through. Luo Luo sent a message. I saw it. Yi Xian nodded. His doppelganger was beside Luo Luo. Once Luo Luo broke through, he would naturally know. Now, they could use both methods to find the person. However, just in case, after Luo Luo broke through, his doppelganger directly broke through the void and returned to the Wind Snow Villa. 20 all creations realm powerhouses were too many. In fact, only 10 of them would be able to roam the entire land of the dead and kill all the living creatures. As for the others, they would go to the land of the dead and take a look around. The Wind Snow Villa was a few days' journey from the land of the dead, but this was for the powerhouses of true energy disaster. If Zhou Kai were to hurry, he would be able to get there in 2 hours. However, behind the Wind Snow Villa, there were a large number of ghost spirits stationed in the 10,000 Snow Mountain. If the people of the 8 great families arrived, they would probably be in danger. Even if all the ancestors of the ghost spirits joined forces, they would probably not be able to defeat a single all creations realm expert of the 8 great families. Therefore, Yi Xian sent Luo Luo and his doppelganger back to guard the villa. However, as soon as his doppelganger and Luo Luo returned, they discovered 2 powerful auras. The people of the 8 great families. Yi Xian's face darkened. He did not expect that this time he would sense the people of the 8 great families as soon as he returned, and there were even 2 of them. At this time, these 2 auras were rapidly approaching the Wind Snow Villa. Young master, leave these 2 to me? Luo suddenly laughed. When she was at 9th grade spirit disaster, she could already kill the man in green. Now that she had broken through to the All Creations realm and possessed the All Creations realm power, it would definitely not be a problem for her to fight against the 2 of them alone. Okay, but don't kill them. Yi Xian's doppelganger nodded. As soon as his voice fell, a violent roar came from the sky. Sect of the God of Ghost, so you were hiding here. Quickly come over and accept your death. Before the person arrived, the voice arrived first. This old voice frightened the people of the sect of the God of Ghost and the people of the Wind Snow Villa. However, at this time, Luo had already rushed forward. Little girl, this is none of your business. Go play somewhere else. When an old man saw Luo, the young girl from the Fox clan, he shouted again. His mission was to kill all living beings, including humans, that he saw in the land of the undead. However, as long as he left the land of the undead, he could only kill undead creatures, such as ghost spirits and corpses. I won't move. Luo pouted. Just now, she was afraid that her aura would frighten the people of the Wind Snow Villa, so she restrained her aura. As a result, the old man and the middle-aged man beside him didn't realize that she was in the manifestation realm. However, as her aura spread out, the old man and the middle-aged man's expressions changed drastically. Manifestation realm? The old man from the Wu clan was shocked. He didn't understand when such a young manifestation realm master appeared here. Moreover, Luo was so young, and she was from the Fox clan. Without waiting for the other party to ask, Luo directly attacked. Manifestation realm force. Luo's slender hand grabbed the air, and then 2 forces shrouded the old man and the middle-aged man. What? The 2 of them widened their eyes. In the next moment, they were facing each other and couldn't control themselves. Bang! The old man and the middle-aged man bumped into each other face to face. They were already stunned. This was the first time they had encountered such a thing in their decades of life. Even Yi Xian didn't expect this scene. Luo's manifestation realm force was so powerful? The manifestation realm force was affected by the power of the soul. Luo's manifestation realm force directly surpassed the 2 masters of the 8 great clans, so she could toy with them. In this case, the strength of Luo's soul was probably much stronger than Yi Xian's. Chapter 1094. Bam! 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 Luo giggled as she used the All Creations force. The experts of the sect of the God of Ghosts and the people of the Wind Snow Villa were stunned. Who were those 2? They were the experts of the 8 great families. How could they be played by Luo? It was terrifying. A few months ago, Luo was just a human body disaster. When she was sent to the 10,000 Flower Valley, she was only a first-grade vital energy disaster. But now, she had grown to a level that they did not dare to mention. Young master, come on. At this time, Luo suddenly turned her head and giggled at Yi Xian. Hearing this, Yi Xian directly used the Eye of Control on the 2 people who were stunned by Luo's All Creations force. Ding! Control successful. Ding! Control successful. 2 system notifications sounded, and the 2 people were directly reduced to Yi Xian's servants. Although Luo could also charm these 2 people, there was a flaw in her charm. If the person she charmed died, Luo would not know. As for Yi Xian's Eye of Control, he would know if the person he controlled died. Yi Xian immediately rushed over and took off the 2 people's interspatial rings. Unfortunately, there were not many things inside, but there was still something that could improve the strength of the soul. It seems that we can't stay in the Wind Snow Villa any longer. The sect of the God of Ghosts must leave. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and immediately turned back. He said to Gue He and the others, "Seniors, there is a change in the land of the dead. The 8 great families have ordered to eliminate all the undead creatures. If you stay here, I'm afraid you will be in big trouble." The sect of the God of Ghosts did not have any human manifestation realm experts. If they were encountered by the 8 great families again, they would probably be wiped out. Yi Xian's strength was enough to resist the experts of the 8 great families, but he could not stay here all the time. Therefore, the sect of the God of Ghosts had to move. Alas, we really have to leave. The patriarch of the sect of the God of Ghosts sighed. He himself was a ghost spirit and was no longer human. However, he grew up in the land of the dead and established the sect of the God of Ghost with great difficulty. He did not expect to leave this place where he had lived for thousands of years. He was really reluctant. Little brother Yi, we've already decided to go to Yuyu's Blood Cliff continent to live. A ghost spirit ancestor said. Blood Rock continent, huh? Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. The Blood Cliff continent could be considered as his hometown. At the same time, it was also Yuyu's hometown. If the sect of the God of Ghost were to go there, they would definitely be able to dominate the continent. Although the yuan qi of heaven and earth in the Blood Rock continent was extremely lacking, as long as one brought along high-quality natural treasures and planted them, the yuan qi of heaven and earth would be several times stronger than in the 10,000 Flower Valley. Alright, since that's the case, let's go to the Blood Rock continent. Yi Xian immediately nodded in agreement. In the Blood Rock continent, there was still his second clone and old immortal Tianju, who had given him information about the Yin Yang old ancestor. The 8 great clans would not be so bored as to investigate a low-level continent like the Blood Rock continent. Since they had already decided, Yi Xian would help them this time and personally go to the entrance of the Blood Rock continent. In less than an hour, he arrived at the entrance of the secret realm from the Penglai Divine Land. The entrance of the secret realm was actually a trans-realm teleportation array. Coincidentally, the Blood Rock sect disciple who had sent Yi Xian to the Penglai Divine Land was also there. This Blood Rock sect disciple was in the realm of human body disaster, which was extremely low. However, he was very prestigious in the Blood Rock continent and had directly taken in hundreds of wives and concubines, enjoying himself endlessly. At this time, this Blood Rock sect disciple seemed to be leading a person from the Blood Rock continent and was waiting for the Blood Rock sect to send him. When he saw Yi Xian was shocked. Greetings, Senior Yi. This Blood Rock sect disciple hurriedly greeted. How could he forget about Yi Xian? After all, he was the one who had sent Yi Xian and Luoluo to the Penglai Divine Land that day. After Yi Xian had caused a ruckus in the Blood Rock sect and joined the Snow Wind Manor, Yi Xian had become his idol. Yes, I want to bring some people back to the Blood Rock continent. Yi Xian silently nodded and directly took out a heavenly treasure from his devour space and threw it over. This heavenly treasure's benefits were too low for him, but to this Blood Rock sect disciple, it was a divine item. As long as he finished refining it, breaking through to spirit disaster wouldn't be a problem. No problem, no problem. Thank you, Senior Yi. This Blood Rock sect disciple was overjoyed. Although he didn't know the name of this heavenly treasure, it came from Yi Xian, so it was definitely worth a lot. Following that, Yi Xian didn't waste any time and directly broke through the void. In just 10 seconds, thousands of powerful experts had arrived. When this Blood Rock sect disciple swept a glance, he was so frightened that he nearly peed his pants. There were actually so many ghost spirits. However, he still recognized one of them. It was the elder of the God of Ghost sect that he met when he was strolling in the Blood Rock continent. However, this elder of the God of Ghost sect was now the ghost spirit ancestor. Senior Gue He, my clone in the Blood Rock continent will come to receive you. Yi Xian turned around and cupped his fists towards Gue He. Clone. When Gue He and the others heard this, they were shocked. They knew that Yi Xian had a clone, but they didn't expect that Yi Xian would have another clone in the Blood Rock continent. This was simply too powerful. They didn't ask any further and cupped their fists towards Yi Xian and began to enter the Blood Rock continent. Big sister Yuyu, I'll look for you when I'm free in the future. Luoluo waved at Yuyu. Yuyu smiled faintly and followed the group into the palace. Soon, the entire God of Ghost sect entered the Blood Rock continent. At the same time, Yi Xian's clone was already waiting there. After they all left, Yi Xian asked the Blood Rock sect disciple, "Are there any other experts in the Blood Rock continent?" "There are some. There might be a manifestation realm expert among them," said the Blood Rock sect disciple. Manifestation realm, huh? Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. This manifestation realm expert might be from the 8 great clans or from other places. They might have entered the Blood Rock continent to find people with special constitutions. Some people who were bored out of their wits might have moved islands to join the Blood Rock continent and expand it. Although there might be manifestation realm experts in the Blood Rock continent, the God of Ghost sect's base was the Eastern Continent's Ghost Tomb region. The Eastern Continent was protected by Elder Immortal Tianju's formation. Without Yi Xian's guidance, it was impossible to enter. This matter was considered to have come to an end. Now that the God of Ghost sect was settled, it was time for him to do his own thing. Chapter 1095. There were people from the other 8 families in the land of the dead, so Yi Xian wanted to control all of them. Now, his Heavenly Eye clan bloodline had advanced once after completing the chain random mission of annihilating the Corpse King Palace. He could now control 25 people. At this time, Yi Xian hoped that these martial practitioners from the 8 families would all have a huge amount of wealth. This way, all of it would fall into his pocket. After seeing Luo Luo's strength, Yi Xian was relieved to let her travel through the land of the dead alone. At the same time, there were also his 3 wingmen. Soon, someone used the white bone token to send a message. Then, Yi Xian quickly rushed over. Martial practitioners from the 8 families only came this time. Each family sent 5 people, which was a total of 20 people. If they all came with their wealth to carry out the mission, then Yi Xian could probably break through to the 2nd level of the manifestation realm after robbing them. However, this was a little difficult. This time, he stayed in the land of the dead for a total of 7 days. In these 7 days, he controlled 12 people. Including the 3 from before, that made a total of 15 people. 15 first-level manifestation realm martial practitioners. This was something that had never been seen in the land of the dead for thousands of years. However, this was not worth mentioning to the 8 families. The people I control now are from the 4 families of Zhou, Wu, Zhang, and Wang. However, they all said that the teleportation formation was activated 2 years ago and was not used 1 year ago. Then, the Yin Yang ancestor should not have left through here. In the ruins of the God of Ghost sect, Yi Xian looked at the 15 people in front of him and thought. Although the Yin Yang ancestor did not use the 8 families' teleportation formation, the 8 families had sent people to the Glazed Light Sacred Ground before. Then, they might have a map of the Glazed Light Sacred Ground. This way, he might be able to find out about the Yin Yang Temple. Luo Luo. Is there a problem with controlling 15 first-level manifestation realm martial practitioners? Yi Xian turned to look at Luo Luo. Young master, I have inherited memories. The soul altar I built is different from that of ordinary people. With the strength of my soul, it is not a problem to control 30 people. Luo Luo's bright eyes and white teeth flashed as her eyes instantly turned pink. Ding, Zhou Kai is out of control. Ding, Zhou Xiang is out of control. Ding, He Yuan is out of control. System notifications rang out one after another. Yi Xian ordered these 15 people not to resist, so Luo Luo easily charmed all of them. All right, apart from the Zhou family, the rest of you can disperse. Remember what I said before. Yi Xian issued another order. Although these people were no longer under his control, they were still under his control indirectly. After all, these people were out on missions, so they naturally wouldn't bring everything with them. Therefore, Yi Xian told them to hand over all the items to the representatives of each party when they returned and then hide them in a place designated by Yi Xian. Yes. These people nodded and immediately left. Yi Xian looked at the 3 strong men from the Zhou family. Then, I'll pretend to be the son of Zhou Xiang's deceased good friend. I want to enter the Zhou family. Is that okay? Among the 3 people in front of her, only one was a member of the Zhou family, namely Zhou Kai. As for the Zhou Xiang mentioned by Yi Xian, although his surname is Zhou, he is not a member of the Zhou family of the 8 major families. Yi Xian pretending to be the genius son of Zhou Xiang's good friend is not a problem. Master, no problem. Zhou Kai immediately nodded. With the 3 of them as guarantors, Yi Xian joining the Zhou family is a done deal. Yi Xian only has one purpose in joining the Zhou family, and that is to use the Eye of Control to profit. It has been a year since Song Suijing and Judge Song were captured, so he couldn't delay any longer. In order to increase his strength, he began to use unscrupulous means. However, the unscrupulous means here didn't refer to a massacre. Even the 12 people who left just now, he didn't silence them. What he wanted was the heaven and earth treasures. After a moment of preparation, he immediately left the land of the dead and headed to the Zhou family. Among the 8 major families, there were also ranks. The 4 Zhao, Qian, Sun, and Li were the upper clans, while the 4 Zhou, Wu, Zhang, and Wang were the lower clans. Among the 4 lower clans, only the Zhou family had a 4th-level manifestation realm expert. These people were originally not far from the land of the dead, so they quickly received the order. But this time, Zhou Kai and the other two wanted to bring Yi Xian to the Zhou family. The Zhou family was not built in a city, but directly in the wilderness. However, this Zhou family had been passed down for thousands of years, and the land they occupied was not smaller than a city. Yi Xian spent 2 days to arrive at the Zhou family that was built in a valley. This is one of the 8 major families. The Zhou family? It's really powerful. Yi Xian sensed for a moment, but there was still a 4th-level manifestation realm expert inside. Even if he restrained his aura, he was so powerful that Yi Xian's heart palpitated. He estimated that if he robbed this Zhou family, he might be able to break through to the 3rd level of the manifestation realm. At this moment, an old man came out of the Zhou family and bumped into them. Why are the 3 of you here? The old man asked in surprise. Manager. The 3 of them greeted in unison. Weren't you in Flying Tiger City? Why are you back? The old man was very displeased because there were 5 Zhou family experts in Flying Tiger City. Now that 3 of them had returned, what if something happened? Faced with this problem, Zhou Kai hurriedly took a step forward and said, Manager, it's like this. Some time ago, there was a change in the land of the dead, so we discussed and decided to clean up the land of the dead. Oh, the land of the dead? Finally, there's trouble. The Zhou family's manager did not care at all and said, if it's destroyed, then so be it. In any case, the soul-locking grass can already be planted. Previously, the 8 major families left the land of the dead because the land of the dead was surrounded by death energy and could produce many natural treasures that could not be found anywhere else. But later on, these natural treasures could be artificially planted, but nothing happened in the land of the dead, so it had been left there until now. After the Zhou family's manager finished speaking, his gaze fell on Yi Xian and asked, Who is he? Manager Zhou. He's the son of my friend who passed away. Now that he has broken through to the manifestation realm, he wants to join our Zhou family. Zhou Xiang hurriedly stepped forward and introduced. Oh, is that so? The Zhou family's manager narrowed his eyes and looked at Yi Xian. His intuition told him that Yi Xian's age is not more than 25 years old. Even in the entire Zhou family, not 1 in 10 people broke through to the manifestation realm at 25 years old. Not bad, not bad. All right, then you'll work under me from now on. The Zhou family's manager nodded in satisfaction. Sure enough, with 3 people's recommendation, Yi Xian directly joined the Zhou family without any suspicion. Chapter 1096. All right, leave him to me. The 3 of you return to Flying Tiger City quickly. Don't let the other 3 families take advantage of this. Chief Steward Zhou said. The ancestors of the 8 families were sworn brothers, but as time passed, this relationship slowly widened. It was also because of this that the 8 families were not united and were scheming against each other. Although Flying Tiger City was only a small city and was the closest to the land of the dead, the Zhou family only had 7 manifestation realm experts stationed in Flying Tiger City. This time, the land of the dead changed, so the 4 families of Zhou, Wu, Zhang, and Wang discussed and sent 5 experts to destroy the land of the dead. As for why Flying Tiger City sent 20 manifestation realm experts, it was also because of the appearance of the Eye of Death. The Eye of Death attracted the aura of the entire land of the dead. Flying Tiger City was very close to the land of the dead, so they sent so many people. After leaving Yi Xian behind, Zhou Kai and the other 2 left directly. However, after some time, they would hand over all their belongings to Zhou Kai and let him hide them in a specific place. Young man, with your strength, you can get a steward position in my Zhou family. If you work hard in the future, you will be rewarded. Chief Steward Zhou brought Yi Xian into the Zhou family and explained some things to Yi Xian at the same time. Chief Steward, I have some questions, but I don't know if I can ask. Yi Xian, who was following behind the Chief Steward, suddenly spoke. Go ahead. It's like this. When my father died, he left a strange parchment. He said it was a treasure map somewhere in the glazed light sacred ground. So I want to ask if our Zhou family has a map of the glazed light sacred ground? Yi Xian told the lie that he had made up beforehand. Glazed light sacred ground, treasure map? Chief Steward Zhou heard this and couldn't help but stop in his tracks. He said, Let me see it. Originally, this kind of thing couldn't be taken out for others to see, but this parchment was casually drawn by Yi Xian. It was quite a treasure map, so he immediately took it out. Chief Steward Zhou glanced at it but could not see anything wrong with it. After all, Even he could not understand Yi Xian's drawing, let alone him. The treasure map of the glazed light Holy Land is useless because our trans-realm teleportation array has been sealed. Every time we activate it, we need a large number of soul crystals. Furthermore, our Zhou family doesn't have a map of the glazed light Holy Land. The chief steward of the Zhou family shook his head. Is that so? Yi Xian asked in his heart. He felt that there was something wrong with this head steward of the Zhou family. Perhaps, the Zhou clan had a map of the glazed light sacred ground, but the Zhou clan's chief steward had concealed it. Perhaps, Zhou clan's chief steward had a place where he could get a map of the glazed light sacred ground. Young man, you won't be able to reach the glazed light sacred ground. Why don't you give this treasure map to me? Although I can't go to the glazed light sacred ground, I like to collect these things. Chief Steward Zhou smiled at Yi Xian and continued, Don't worry, I won't treat you unfairly. I see. Yi Xian pretended to hesitate. After thinking for a while, he nodded painfully. All right, then I'll kindly accept it. Chief Steward Zhou was very happy and directly put away the treasure map. He was completely unaware that this treasure map was a fake treasure map that Yi Xian casually made up. I won't treat you unfairly either. Here are 100 rank 1 soul crystals. They can increase the strength of your soul. Chief Steward Zhou took out a cloth bag and handed it to Yi Xian. Soul crystals were the currency of the manifestation realm. They could be used for transactions and could also be used to increase the strength of the soul. 100 rank 1 soul crystals were roughly the net worth of a first-level manifestation realm expert. These things seemed to be a lot, but to Yi Xian, it was just a drop of water in the ocean. If he wanted to break through to the second level of the manifestation realm, he would need at least 1,000. However, this was better than nothing. Next, Chief Steward Zhou brought him to a certain place in the Zhou family. They had just arrived when a graceful woman walked out from inside. She was about 25 years old. She had a head of refreshing short hair and a pretty face. Grandfather, didn't you go out? Why are you back? The short-haired woman asked curiously. Little ya, this is Yi Xian who just joined my Zhou family. He is now a steward of my Zhou family. Show him around and familiarize him with the environment. Chief Steward Zhou said to the short-haired woman. Yes, grandfather. The short-haired woman softly replied. Then, Chief Steward Zhou left. Yi Xian did not expect that this short-haired woman was actually the Zhou family's chief steward's granddaughter. Chief Steward Zhou was at the 3rd level of the manifestation realm, but his granddaughter was actually at the 2nd level of the manifestation realm. Her talent could probably rank in the top 3 in the entire Zhou family. Hello, I am Zhou Ya, the Zhou family's vice chief steward. The short-haired woman walked in front of Yi Xian with a smile. Yi Xian. Yi Xian also nodded and replied in a friendly manner. He could try to control this Zhou Ya. After all, she was a vice chief, and her grandfather was the entire Zhou family's chief steward. However, this was the Zhou family's territory. If he acted rashly and failed to control Zhou Ya in one go, he would definitely alert the enemy. If he wanted to control her, he had to do it from afar. Next, Zhou Ya brought Yi Xian around to familiarize him with the environment. She told Yi Xian some things and then assigned Yi Xian a place to stay. As for the job, it had not been decided yet. You can stay here for now. You will have a specific assignment in 3 days at most. Zhou Ya said to Yi Xian. Thank you, Vice Chief. Yi Xian hurriedly thanked her. Zhou Ya smiled lightly. I am 1 year older than you. You can call me Big Sister Ya. If you need anything in the future, you can come to me. Big Sister Ya. Yi Xian called out again. However, just as Zhou Ya was about to turn and leave, a person suddenly stepped into Yi Xian's residence. It was a man wearing a golden crown. He had sword-like eyebrows and a dignified appearance. One look and one could tell that he was not a simple person. When Zhou Ya saw this person, a look of disgust flashed across her eyes. However, she still greeted him respectfully. Second young master. The second young master quickly walked over and glanced at Yi Xian. Then he asked, Xiaoya, why are you here? Yi Xian just joined the Zhou family. Grandfather asked me to bring him around to familiarize him with the environment. Zhou Ya answered honestly. Oh, welcome to the Zhou family. The second young master smiled at Yi Xian. Then he said in a commanding tone, Xiaoya and I have something to talk about now. You can go out and wait for a while. Go out and wait for a while? Yi Xian was stunned. Motherf ** Ker. This was his residence. How could he ask him to go out and wait for a while? Were they trying to have sex on the spot? Chapter 1097. Second young master, I still have matters to attend to. Let's talk later. Zhouya said very impatiently. Now, Yi Xian could see what was going on. The Zhou family's second young master was probably pursuing Zhouya, but Zhouya did not like him, so she was a little impatient. Although Zhouya was the granddaughter of the Zhou family's head steward, the head steward was not a member of the Zhou family and was only given the surname Zhou. The Zhou family's second young master was the son of the Zhou family's patriarch. He was already at the second level of the manifestation realm at the age of 27, and was one of the 3 great geniuses of the Zhou family. However, the Zhou family was a large family. Even a piece of trash could be made into a super genius by using treasures of heaven and earth. The second level of the manifestation realm was nothing. The Zhou family's second young master was at the second level of the manifestation realm and was not weak. Yi Xian did not have the confidence to directly control him. In order not to disturb the later plans, Yi Xian decided not to clash with the Zhou family's second young master for the time being and directly walked outside. However, the Zhou family's second young master was on his list of control. When the time came, as long as he made an appointment to control him, then it would be equivalent to him owning half of the Zhou family. Seeing Yi Xian leave, Zhouya's eyes revealed a trace of disappointment. She said, Second young master, if you have something to say, then say it quickly. I still have many things to do. All right, then I'll make it short. The second young master said with a smile. Just yesterday, I already proposed to uncle, and uncle has already agreed. We will get married next month. What, get married? Zhouya cried out in surprise. She said, No, I haven't agreed. Little Ya, you've worked hard for my Zhou family for so many years. It's time for you to enjoy life. As long as you marry me, you will be my Zhou family's second young mistress. Your future achievements might even surpass my great-grandfather. The second young master said somewhat agitatedly. No, I don't agree. Zhouya still shook her head. Why? You're already 26, but you're still not married. Aren't you waiting for me? The Zhou family's second young master asked in confusion, then said, I know, you must be not mentally prepared. All right, I can postpone the wedding for a while until you're mentally prepared. No, that's not what I mean, Zhouya hurriedly said. She wanted to say that the second young master of the Zhou family was flattering himself. However, if she said that directly, she was afraid that she would directly anger the second young master of the Zhou family. For a moment, she did not know what to say. Yi Xian, who was outside, was also speechless. Although he had walked quite a distance away, he had the perceptive eye and spiritual sense, so how could he not hear these words? However, what caught his attention was that at this very moment, a large group of experts seemed to have entered the Zhou clan's valley. Right at this moment. Zhou Xiong, come out and meet me. A loud roar reverberated throughout the entire valley of the Zhou clan, falling into everyone's ears. The 2 people in the courtyard stopped and trembled at the same time. Zhou Xiong. Wasn't that the name of the Zhou clan's old master? The Zhou family's patriarch, Zhou Xiong, was at the 4th level of the manifestation realm. He was the strongest person in the Zhou family. There was actually someone who dared to call out old Master Zhou's name directly, and in front of the Zhou family's door. This was simply courting death. The second young master of the Zhou clan did not waste any more words. He flew up into the sky and shouted, Which bastard is calling my great-grandfather's name? Not only that, but many people from the Zhou clan also flew up into the sky. However, in the next moment, their bodies all trembled at the same time. There were a total of 10 people, but the auras of these 10 people were not the slightest bit weaker than the entire Zhou clan. There were 4 experts at the 3rd level of the manifestation realm. Most importantly, these people were actually wearing the uniform of the Zhao clan, one of the 8 great clans. The Zhao clan. The second young master was stunned for a moment. He focused his eyes and found that the leader of the Zhao clan's team sitting on a black sky dragon in front of them was a little familiar. He quickly searched his memory and could not help but exclaim, Heifeng Sky Dragon, Zhao clan's Zhao Kuan? That's right, it's me. In the Zhao clan's team, the young man sitting on a black sky dragon responded. The black sky dragon he was riding was a 2nd level of the manifestation realm sky connecting beast. It was this unique sky-connecting beast that allowed the second young master to recognize him. "Why are you looking for my great-grandfather?" the second young master asked with a frown. After learning of the other party's identity, his attitude clearly changed a lot. What a joke! The Zhao clan was the head of the 8 great clans and was the strongest. If he knew that the newcomers were a team from the 8 great clans, why would he still shout those words? Not to mention that this Zhao Kuan was the Zhao clan's great young master, the next patriarch of the Zhao clan. "You don't have the right to ask this question. Zhou Xiong, come out." Zhao Kuan could not be bothered with the Zhou clan's second young master and shouted again. Hearing this, the second young master's expression changed greatly, but he dared not speak out despite his anger. Although he was the Zhou clan's young master, he did not have the right to speak. There were at least 10 people who had more right to speak than him. So for a moment, he actually cowered. And this was in his own home. The arrival of the Zhao clan had already alarmed the entire Zhou clan. All the manifestation realm experts flew into the sky. At the same time, a figure flew over from behind the Zhou clan. The Zhou clan's great-grandfather, Zhou Xiong. "So it's young Master Zhao. May I ask why young Master Zhao has come to my Zhou clan?" Zhou Xiong asked with a smile. "I came today to cooperate with the Zhou clan." Zhao Kuan answered honestly. "Cooperation." These 2 words made Zhou Xiong somewhat puzzled. The Zhao clan's strength was at least 10 times that of the Zhou clan. What did the Zhou clan have that the Zhao clan would fancy? That's right, cooperation. Zhao Kuan nodded and revealed a trace of a sinister smile. He said, "My father said to let your Zhou clan merge with my Zhao clan and let us develop together." What? The moment these words came out, the entire Zhou clan was shocked. Zhao Kuan actually wanted the Zhou clan to merge with the Zhao clan? What kind of joke was this? "Young Master Zhao, you're not joking, right?" Zhou Xiong's expression was not very good. Although he asked this, he had more or less guessed it from Zhao Kuan's expression. "This should be true. Look at me. Do I look like I'm joking?" Zhao Kuan's eyes narrowed. Before he finished speaking, someone shouted loudly, "This isn't cooperation, you're simply trying to annex my Zhou clan." The person who spoke was the Zhou clan's second young master's grandfather, a 3rd-level manifestation realm martial artist. "Since you've said so, then I won't beat around the bush. That's right, my father's intention is to annex your Zhou clan." As Zhao Kuan spoke, he also looked around and continued, "Not only that, the Wu, Zhang, and Wang clans will also be annexed by the other 3 upper clans. The 8 great clans only need the 4 great clans in the future." The Zhao clan's intention for coming was already very obvious, and that was to annex the Zhou clan. Chapter 1098. The reason why the 8 great clans were divided into the 4 upper clans and the 4 lower clans was because the 4 lower clans had not developed well in the past 1,000 years. The Zhou family was silent. How could they have thought that their family would have such a day? Your Zhou clan is declining day by day. Sooner or later, you won't be able to raise your head again. My Zhao clan will let you join my Zhao clan on account of our old friendship. We will develop together in the future. This is a win-win cooperation. Zhao Kuan continued. A win-win situation? When the Zhou family heard this, they couldn't help but curse in their hearts. Merging into the Zhao family was a win-win situation? Cooperate my ass. However, the Zhao family was much stronger than the Zhou family. The Zhou family did not have the ability to resist at all. Zhou Xiong glanced at Zhao Kuan. The latter had come in a threatening manner and had actually brought so many experts with him. He was most likely going to eat up the Zhou clan. If they refused, then there would most likely be a great battle. However, this wasn't the main point. The main point was that if the Zhao family still had a 5th-level manifestation realm expert, then if they descended upon the Zhou family, then the Zhou family would definitely be annihilated. "Young Master Zhao, is there no room for negotiation?" Zhou Xiong could not help but ask. "The other 3 families have already compromised. Only your Zhou family is left." Zhao Kuan coldly replied. Only the Zhou family was left. In other words, out of the 8 great clans, there were only 5 great clans left. If the Zhou clan also merged with the Zhao clan, then there would only be 4 great clans left. Patriarch Zhou was silent for a moment. He thought of the power of the Zhao family and nodded in compromise. "From now on, they will stay with the Zhou family and assist you." After Zhao Kuan finished speaking, He turned his head to the side and the few second-level manifestation realm martial artists behind him walked out. From now on, the 8 great clans were only left with 4 great clans. Yi Xian did not expect that he would become a member of the Zhao family the moment he joined the Zhou family. What a scam. Meanwhile, Zhao Kun suddenly swept the surroundings with his gaze and said, "Right, I have something else to tell you. I, Zhao Kun, intend to take a concubine." Hearing this, Zhou Xiong raised his eyebrows and said, "Please do as you wish, young Master Zhao. Whoever is chosen by young Master Zhao is blessed." Although that was what he said, Zhou Xiong was cursing in his heart. He knew that Zhao Kun was not doing this to take in a concubine, but to stabilize the relationship between the two families. "All right, since old Master Zhou has said so, then I won't hold back. Of course, I, Zhao Kun, am not a perverted person. This matter requires mutual affection." The corners of Zhao Kun's mouth curled up slightly as he rode the Heifeng heavenly dragon and circled above the Zhou family. The population of the Zhou clan had also reached tens of thousands, and there were countless young beauties who had yet to marry. Some of these girls wanted to be chosen by Zhao Kun, so they all went out. When Zhao Kun flew over their heads, they would make a scene. However, some girls didn't want to, so they hid in the house. Even those girls who were already married wanted to use this opportunity to enter the Zhao family. Zhao Kun paced back and forth in the air above the Zhou family. Finally, he stopped in the air above a courtyard. Coincidentally, this residence was the one that belonged to Yi Xian. "Who is she?" Zhao Kun looked at Zhou Ya in Yi Xian's courtyard and asked. When Zhou Xiong heard this, he followed Zhao Kun's gaze and said, "She is the granddaughter of the Zhou family's chief steward. At the same time, she is also the deputy chief steward of the Zhou family, Zhou Ya." After hearing this, Zhao Kun nodded in satisfaction and said, "Not bad, not bad. Second-level manifestation realm." Seeing that Zhao Kun was looking at her, Zhou Ya frowned slightly. As the deputy chief steward of the Zhou family, how could she not know what she was going to face next? Zhao Kun rode the Heifeng heavenly dragon closer to the courtyard and landed in front of Zhou Ya. He asked seriously, "Miss Zhou Ya, are you willing to marry me?" Zhou Ya didn't know if she should agree at this time. She quickly glanced at the second young master next to her. "Well, young Master Zhao, I have already proposed to Zhou Ya's father yesterday, and he has already agreed." The second young master of the Zhou family, Zhou Shang, quickly stepped forward. What a joke. He had been chasing Zhou Ya for so long, and the wedding was about to happen. Now that Zhao Kun suddenly appeared, he couldn't back down this time. So what? Zhao Kun had a look of disapproval. It was just a proposal. Even if they were already engaged and married, as long as Zhou Ya agreed, he could take her away directly. "You!" The second young master's face was immediately filled with anger. However, when the words reached his throat, he swallowed them back. At this time, Zhao Kun suddenly took out a bag of soul crystals from his universe ring and threw it to the second young master. He said, "I will return your betrothal gift in double. There are 5,000 soul crystals in here." 5,000 soul crystals. Hearing this, the second young master's eyes brightened. If he refined all these soul crystals, his soul strength would increase greatly. If he used them for cultivation, it would be enough for him to break through to the third level of the manifestation realm. After all, the betrothal gift he gave to Zhou Ya's father was only 1,000 soul crystals. Although these 5,000 soul crystals were just a drop in the ocean to the entire Zhou family, was there still a chance for him to reject? Why not just take this step down? All right, then the marriage between Zhou Ya and I is over. The Zhou family's second young master nodded solemnly. He was the young master of the Zhou family after all. He had to think for the Zhou family. This Zhao Kun was aggressive and didn't look like he would back down. If he fought with Zhao Kun here, then the Zhou family would be in a lot of trouble in the future. It wasn't worth it for a woman. After hearing the Zhou family's second young master's words, Zhou Ya looked at him in shock. The former had pursued her for so many years, and now he was giving her away just like that? Fortunately, she only cancelled the engagement and did not agree to Zhao Kun's proposal. However, her grandfather wasn't in the Zhou family. Her father couldn't even compare to her in terms of influence, let alone speaking up for her. Who could speak up for her now? However, at this moment, Zhou Xing suddenly cried out in pain. He held his chest and took 2 steps back. Zhao Kuan, who originally wanted to ask Zhouya if she agreed, was also shocked when he saw Zhou Shang's reaction. What happened to Zhou Shang? Not only that, but even Zhou Xiong and the others couldn't figure out the situation. Immediately, Zhou Xiong and the other experts flew over to check on Zhou Shang's condition. Other than the power of manifestation, the manifestation realm also had the trait of spiritual consciousness. With this trait, one could use inner vision to check one's own body, as well as other people's bodies. However, with Zhou Xiong's 4th-level manifestation realm cultivation, he didn't find anything wrong with Zhou Shang's body. "Grandson, what happened to you?" Zhou Shang's grandfather asked anxiously. "Grandfather, my heart seems to be burning. It hurts so much." Chapter 1099. His heart is burning up? Old Master Zhou Xiong quickly scanned with his spiritual consciousness, but he still did not find anything amiss. At this moment, he thought of Zhou Shang's feelings for Zhouya and immediately understood. He's suffering from qi deviation due to anger. Zhou Xiong concluded. Suffering from qi deviation? Grandfather Zhou Shang and the others instantly understood after hearing this. Under Zhao Kuan's pressure, Zhou Shang cancelled the engagement with Zhouya on the spot. Therefore, his qi deviation was caused by anger. Immediately, they sat down cross-legged and treated Zhou Shang. However, how would they know that all of this was caused by Yi Xian? Suffering from qi deviation due to anger. Yi Xian sneered in his heart. Zhou Shang's pain was entirely due to the burning eye. Although the burning eye had such a name, it directly attacked Zhou Shang's soul, although the reason could not be found. Even Zhou Shang himself would not know that he was hit by a mental attack. No, it should be called a soul attack now. After all, this was the Zhou family. There was the 4th level of the manifestation realm Old Master Zhou, Zhou Shang's grandfather, father, uncles, and other 3rd level of the manifestation realm experts. Even Zhao Kuan, who was standing in front of Zhou Shang, could not have used a mental attack without being discovered under the eyes of so many experts. Therefore, they unanimously believed that Zhou Shang was the cause. Even Zhao Kuan was very helpless when such a thing happened to Zhou Shang. He did not do anything and even gave Zhou Shang 5,000 soul crystals. However, Zhou Shang was so angry that he suffered from qi deviation and was in so much pain that he wished he was dead. It was simply a joke. He stood there and watched as the Zhou family experts helped Zhou Shang get through this difficult situation. However, Zhou Shang's pain did not lessen at all under the combined efforts of so many experts. Instead, it became worse. For a full 10 seconds, Zhou Shang was in pain for a full 10 seconds. During these 10 seconds, his mind was about to collapse. "Second young master, you really like me that much?" Zhouya, who was standing at the side, also widened her eyes. Zhou Shang's character was not good, and he was arrogant and lustful. This was something that the entire Zhou clan knew, but now that Zhou Shang had become like this, she mistakenly thought that Zhou Shang had deep feelings for her. At this time, Yi Xian, who was watching from afar, looked at the group of people in front of him. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, and he secretly revealed a smile. "It's about time." Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and thought to himself. Using the burning eye to torture Zhou Shang for 10 seconds was already very cruel. Fortunately, Zhou Shang was at the 2nd level of the manifestation realm and had constructed 2 soul altars. His soul was not weak. If Zhou Shang was only at the 1st level of the manifestation realm, then those 10 seconds were enough for Zhou Shang's soul to be destroyed from the pain. After such a long period of torture, Zhou Shang's soul was extremely weak, so Yi Xian immediately used the Eye of Control on him. The Eye of Control was different from the burning eye. Just now, Zhou Shang hadn't figured out why he was in so much pain, but once he failed to control it, he immediately understood that he had been hit by a mental attack. Therefore this time, Yi Xian would either succeed or die trying. Ding! Control successful. When the sound of the system notification rang out, Zhou Shang's voice also disappeared. Right now, Zhou Shang had become Yi Xian's servant. Other than Yi Xian, no one present would know of this secret. Even Zhou Shang's grandfather and great-grandfather wouldn't be able to discover it. After hearing this system notification, Yi Xian sighed in relief. It seemed that the first step of his plan had succeeded. It had to be said that this Zhou Shang was a bit difficult to deal with. After all, he was one of the 3 great geniuses of the Zhou family. Although he was only at the 2nd level of the manifestation realm, his soul was extremely strong. Fortunately, Yi Xian's burning eye would not reveal anything, otherwise, it would be troublesome.
Shang, how are you?
Zhou Shang's grandfather hurriedly asked. Grandfather, great-grandfather, I'm fine. I've troubled you. Zhou Shang wiped the cold sweat on his forehead and said, It's good that you're fine. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. Zhou Shang was one of the 3 great geniuses of the Zhou family. If he had gone mad and damaged his foundation, then all the previous treasures would have been wasted.
It's good that you're fine.
Zhao Kuan narrowed his eyes and immediately turned to look at Zhouya. Miss Zhouya, what do you think? Just now, Zhou Shang had cancelled the engagement, but this did not mean that Zhouya had agreed.
Zhouya pondered for a moment.
After glancing at the surrounding Zhou family members, she nodded silently in the end. Although she was not a member of the Zhou family, she had no choice but to accept the engagement in this situation. In that case, Miss Zhouya, please pack your luggage and return to the Zhao family with me. A hint of joy flashed in Zhao Kuan's eyes. Although Zhouya's beauty was on the same level as his wives and concubines, her potential was much greater than theirs. A 26-year-old at the 2nd level of the manifestation realm was considered good even in the Zhao family. Young Master Zhao, can you wait for a while?
Zhouya asked.
It's fine. I'll wait outside for a while. Zhao Kuan replied and leaped onto his black gale dragon. Great-grandfather Zhou, I'll take my leave first. Young Master Zhao, take care, Zhou Xiong replied. Although his face was expressionless, his heart was bleeding. After all, the Zhou family was swallowed up by the Zhao family this time. Zhou Ya, one of the 3 young geniuses of the Zhou family, was going to enter the Zhao family. This was a heavy blow to them. However, if they did not compromise, the Zhao family would definitely use force. At that time, the Zhou family's status would definitely be far worse than it was now. Soon, Zhao Kuan left with the other 3 third-level manifestation realm experts, leaving behind only 6 second-level manifestation realm experts. Looking at their departing figures, Zhou Xiong and the others sighed in their hearts. This was a world where the strong were respected. However, the current Zhou Shang was looking at him without any emotion. Shang, go back and rest first, Zhou Shang's grandfather said to him.
Yes.
Zhou Xing nodded and left immediately. As for Zhou Ya, she was removed from her position under the great-grandfather Zhou Shang's orders and replaced by another person. As for Yi Xian, when Zhou Shang left, he pretended to be called by Zhou Shang and left with Zhou Shang. Yi Xian could not do anything about Zhou Ya. This was fate. However, he could use this opportunity to enter the Zhao family, the leader of the 8 great families. Soon, Zhou Shang brought Yi Xian to his residence. Then, he took off the interspatial ring on his finger.
Master!
Zhou Shang called out softly and passed the interspatial ring to Yi Xian. Chapter 1100. How dare you call me by my name in a place like this? If your grandfather or great-grandfather hears it, I'll die a horrible death. Yi Xian reminded him. Although there was no one around, Yi Xian would be in deep trouble if someone heard Zhou Shang calling him master. How could Zhou Shang, the 2nd young master of the Zhou clan, call Yi Xian master? Fortunately, there was no one in Zhou Shang's residence. Yi Xian took Zhou Shang's interspatial ring. Other than the 5,000 soul crystals, there were many other good items in the ring. He immediately devoured the soul crystals using a special method. Ding! Host has broken through. Current level is 2nd level of manifestation realm. The system notified. The benefits of devouring the soul crystals were the same as the treasures of heaven and earth. However, if he devoured them using a special method, Yi Xian's soul strength would increase as well. Although I am only at the 2nd level of the manifestation realm, the strength of my soul has already surpassed the majority of those at the 2nd level of the manifestation realm. With my current strength, it might be slightly difficult to deal with 4 third-level manifestation realm martial artists, but I have the myriad returning swords. Yi Xian squinted his eyes. Zhou Yu would be leaving with Zhao Kuan soon, so he wanted to stop Zhao Kuan and the other 3 along the way. Do you have anything else? Yi Xian asked.
No, I've used everything.
Zhou Shang shook his head. As soon as he finished speaking, Yi Xian sensed Zhou Yu leaping into the air as if she was leaving with Zhao Kuan.
Fine, let's do it.
Yi Xian did not waste any time and left. After all, he had just joined the Zhou clan, so no one would notice him. At that moment, Zhouya had already bid farewell to her father and came to the entrance of the valley. Zhao Kuan and the other three were waiting outside on the Heifeng Tianlong. Seeing Zhouya coming out, Zhao Kuan smiled and said, "Lady Zhouya, come on up." Zhouya nodded silently and leaped onto the Heifeng Tianlong's back under the watchful eyes of the Zhou clan. Yi Xian, who was hiding in the crowd, watched the Heifeng Tianlong's departing figure and left the Zhou clan quietly. "Young master, remember to let me out this time." Luo shouted from inside the storage space. "No problem." Yi Xian immediately agreed. Although Luo was only at the first level of the manifestation realm, her strength had reached an explosive level after breaking through to the manifestation realm. It was only now that Yi Xian's soul strength surpassed Luo's. After leaving the Zhou residence, Yi Xian quickly followed behind. With his current strength, it wasn't a problem for him to fight against so many people. Zhao Kuan and the others rode the second-level manifestation realm Black Wind Heavenly Dragon towards the Zhao family. Zhouya sat beside Zhao Kuan and answered his questions. As for Yi Xian, he naturally used his powerful perceptive eye and spiritual sense to follow Zhao Kuan. With his current speed, keeping up with Heifeng Tianlong's speed was a piece of cake. However, he was still very close to the Zhou clan, so he had to wait for a while before he could make a move. After half a day, Zhao Kuan rode the Heifeng Heavenly Dragon into a 10,000-layer mountain range. This was a suitable place to make a move. "Luo, get ready," Yi Xian reminded him. "Yes, young master." Luo, who was in the physical space, nodded. In the next moment, Yi Xian directly performed the Eye of Glory. The glorious set instantly enveloped him. His aura was also released without any concealment. Eye of Nirvana. A silver light flashed and instantly broke through the void and attacked the second-level manifestation realm Black Wind Heavenly Dragon. Zhao Kuan and the others on the Heifeng Heavenly Dragon were stunned. They suddenly turned their heads and saw the Nirvana Rend. "A sneak attack?" One of the Zhao family's experts shouted and directly threw out a punch. Bam! The Nirvana Rend was dispersed. Those in the manifestation realm already had spiritual sense, so a sneak attack wasn't that easy to succeed. Yi Xian didn't think of a sneak attack. The Nirvana Rend just now was just an appetizer. "Insolent scoundrel, why did you sneak attack us?" Zhao Kuan turned his head and shouted at Yi Xian, who was wearing the glorious golden armor. "Zhao family's people, you're the one who sneak attacked us." Yi Xian didn't say anything and directly performed the Eye of Illusion and Burning Eye on Zhao Kuan's group. Not only that, but Zhouya and the Heifeng Heavenly Dragon they were riding also did the same. Mental attack? Zhao Kuan and the others were stunned. They suddenly felt a burning pain in their hearts, but they didn't think of Zhou Sheng half a day ago. "How dare you sneak attack us when you're only in the second level of the manifestation realm? You're courting death." The Zhao family's expert shouted and dove towards Yi Xian. "You're not my match alone. Attack together." Yi Xian shouted arrogantly. In the next moment, thousands of skyquake swords swept over. Wei Zhentian was at the same level as Yi Xian. They were both in the second level of the manifestation realm, so his hardness wasn't something an ordinary person could destroy. With thousands of skyquake swords sweeping over, even Zhao Kuan didn't dare to be careless. Therefore, the other two third-level manifestation realm experts also moved. The third level of the manifestation realm isn't easy to control, so I'm sorry. Spiritual sword formation. Lock. Yi Xian's eyes flickered as he looked at the three Zhao family's experts who were using the manifestation realm to accelerate towards him. Clang! 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 Before the three of them could react, countless skyquake swords fell from the sky and locked them together. At the same time, Luo suddenly appeared and created hundreds of clones. Then, she madly threw the seven-colored demonic fire at the spiritual sword formation. "Stop!" Seeing this, Zhao Kuan shouted angrily. He didn't expect a second-level manifestation realm brat to actually trap three third-level manifestation realm experts of his Zhao family. Now, he couldn't just sit back and watch. However, just as he was about to attack, whoosh! A fair and smooth palm directly slapped his back. The attack combined with the manifestation realm's manifestation realm was extremely powerful. Zhao Kuan was caught off guard. His aura instantly became chaotic. After spitting out a mouthful of blood, he cursed angrily. "Damn bastard, so you're with him. Was there a need to ask who ambushed him?" Other than the three experts from the Zhao family, the only other person present was Zhou Ya, a member of the Zhou family. If it wasn't Zhou Ya, who could it be? If it was half a day ago, Yi Xian wouldn't be able to control Zhou Ya so easily. However, after breaking through, Yi Xian directly constructed a second soul altar, and the strength of his soul greatly increased. Zhao Kuan might not be able to directly control Zhou Ya, but Yi Xian could still do it with Zhou Ya, who was at the second level of the manifestation realm. However, what Zhao Kuan didn't expect was that it wasn't only Zhou Ya who betrayed him, but also the beast he had raised for many years. Black Wind Heavenly Dragon. Roar! The Black Wind Heavenly Dragon roared and reached out with a claw, directly grabbing Zhao Kuan. What? Zhao Kuan was already shocked. This Black Wind Heavenly Dragon had accompanied him for many years, and he had spent a lot of treasures to raise it. But today it betrayed him. How was this possible? However, now was not the time for him to be shocked. Beast, even you dare to betray me, you're courting death. Chapter 1101. Bastard, even you dare to betray me? You're courting death. A cold glint flashed in Zhao Kuan's eyes. The 10,000 mammoth force in his body suddenly exploded. After a boom, He Feng Tianlong's claw was blown off. Roar! He Feng Tianlong cried out in pain as his huge body was sent flying by Zhao Kuan's punch. However, this also bought some time for Yi Xian. Young Master Zhao, you're finished. A cold voice entered Zhao Kuan's ears. He turned his head and saw Yi Xian's claws reaching out. Suddenly, two large golden hands appeared beside him and caught him. He had just broken free from He Feng Tianlong's claws, and now he was caught by Yi Xian's two golden dragon-catching hands. However, this time, he would not be able to break free so easily. Break free! Zhao Kuan roared as his all-creation strength surged out again. However, this time, he could not break free from the two golden dragon-catching hands. During the spirit disaster, Yi Xian could not unleash the full power of the golden dragon-catching hands because he did not have all-creation strength. Now that Yi Xian was at the second level of the manifestation realm, his soul strength was not any weaker than a third level of the manifestation realm. If the two golden dragon-catching hands were to grab He Feng Tianlong's neck, he would be strangled to death. Ah! Zhao Kuan's bones cracked as the two golden dragon-catching hands gripped him. He could not help but cry out in pain. Coupled with Yi Xian's spiritual attack, he could not break free from the shackles at all. To be safe, Luo did not hold back on using her skills as she swung the long whip in her hand. 100 layers of shackles. Under the double shackles, even if Zhao Kuan was at the fourth level of the manifestation realm, he would not be able to break free so easily. Young Master. Not far away, the three Zhao family experts who were trapped in the spiritual sword array were worried when they heard Zhao Kuan's cry. However, they were severely injured by Luo's seven-colored demonic fire. They could not break free from the giant swords, so they could only watch. Ah! Who are you? Zhao Kuan roared into the sky. Who I am is not important. What is important is that you will become my servant. Yi Xian said coldly. Third level of the manifestation realm? So what? Under this perfect binding, Zhao Kuan would need at least 20 seconds to break free, and this was under the condition that Yi Xian did not make a move. Yi Xian, on the other hand, could make Zhao Kuan suffer a fate worse than death within these 20 seconds. Burning Eye. Yi Xian continued to use the Burning Eye to weaken Zhao Kuan's soul. It's you. So it was you. At this point, Zhao Kuan finally understood that Zhou Ya and He Feng Tianlong's betrayal was because they were controlled by Yi Xian. However, he still did not know where Yi Xian had come from. He had actually challenged 4 people at a higher level than him. Even he, the #1 genius of the Zhao family, was beaten until he had no strength to fight back. In the beginning, Zhao Kuan could still rely on his powerful soul to hold on, but by the 5th second, his mind was a little hazy. 10 seconds later, he was in so much pain that his eyes turned white. Zhao Kuan's pain was much more than Zhou Shang's. After all, Yi Xian was at the second level of the manifestation realm. It's about time. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and used the Eye of Control on Zhao Kuan. Ding! Control failed. The system notified. Ha ha ha! You can't control it. Zhao Kuan raised the corner of his mouth and revealed a smile, but in the next moment, his smile stopped abruptly. Ding! Control succeeded. The system notified again. The young master of the Zhao family, Zhao Kuan, was successfully controlled by Yi Xian. Greetings, master. Zhao Kuan, who was controlled, instantly lost the bindings on his body as he spoke respectfully to Yi Xian in front of him. This sentence shocked the three Zhao family experts in the spiritual sword array. Young master, you. A Zhao family expert who was trapped in the spiritual sword array said in shock. The young master of the Zhao family, Zhao Kuan, actually called Yi Xian master?
Zhao Kuan, who was at the third level of the manifestation realm, was actually being controlled?
At this moment, Yi Xian slowly turned around and looked at the three people. He said, "The three of you, do you choose to submit or die?" Hearing this, the three people's bodies trembled violently. Submit or die. These three people were all experts recruited by the Zhao family, and were not members of the Zhao family. In addition, even Zhao Kuan was being controlled. If they refused, then they would definitely be killed.
The three of them looked at each other and finally said in unison, "We choose to submit."
Good. This answer made Yi Xian beam with joy. It was so easy to talk to smart people. Immediately, he used the eye of control on the three people. Although he failed a few times, these people were determined to submit to him, so he quickly controlled all of them. If Yi Xian wanted to kill them, he would not have asked Luoluo to show mercy, and these three people would not have survived until now. This time, Yi Xian directly subdued 4 experts at the third level of the manifestation realm, which was a huge gain. Then, he directly took off their universe rings. Unfortunately, the things inside could not help him break through. Ding! Wei Zhentian broke through. Although there were not many things, there were still ores. After Yi Xian devoured them, a notification rang out from the system. After forming a co-growth contract with Wei Zhentian, as long as Yi Xian devoured ores, weapons, and the like, Wei Zhentian would also devour that many things. In addition to the accelerated growth of the beast god bloodline, Wei Zhentian directly broke through to the third level of the manifestation realm. The few of you, heal your wounds first. Yi Xian took out some blood bottles from the devour space and threw them to the few people, including Hei Feng Tianlong. Then, Yi Xian turned to look at Zhouya and said, "You don't have to go to the Zhao family anymore. Go back to the Zhou family and say that Zhao Kuan suddenly changed his mind." "Yes, master." Zhouya responded with a grateful expression on her face. Since these people were at the second and third level of the manifestation realm, and Luoluo was only at the first level of the manifestation realm, Yi Xian did not pass these people to Luoluo. Even if Luoluo's soul was strong, it would consume a lot of her soul energy to control them. However, it was different for Yi Xian. Yi Xian's eye of control had 25 slots. Moreover, it did not consume soul energy to control them, which was much simpler. After giving out the instructions, Zhouya immediately left. Yi Xian, Zhao Kuan, and the other 3 people rode the Hei Feng Tianlong to the Zhao family. "When we reach the Zhao family, tell them that I'm a genius of the Zhou family, so they brought me back for training," Yi Xian said to Zhao Kuan. "Yes, master." Zhao Kuan immediately nodded. Chapter 1102. By the way, Zhao Kuan, when was the last time the 8 great families used the Trans-Realm Teleportation Array? Yi Xian suddenly asked. The Trans-Realm Teleportation Array was activated a year ago. Zhao Kuan answered without hesitation. Yi Xian was just asking casually, but Zhao Kuan's answer shocked him. The Trans-Realm Teleportation Array was activated a year ago? However, the people he controlled from the 8 great families all said that the most recent time was 2 years ago. "Are you sure? Who used the teleportation array?" Yi Xian asked with a frown. "My father said so. I wasn't in the family at that time. It was said that the one who used the 8 great families' teleportation array was a strange senior. At the same time, he brought 2 people, a man and a woman," Zhao Kuan explained. "A strange senior, a man and a woman." Hearing this, Yi Xian's eyes widened. He was now sure that the ones who used the Trans-Realm Teleportation Array were the Patriarch Yin Yang and Saiju Song. "I finally found them." Yi Xian's heart began to beat faster. "Master, I happened to see those 3 people at that time." At this time, a third-level manifestation realm Zhao family martial artist interjected. "You saw them? See if it's those 3. Yi Xian quickly took out the portraits of the Patriarch Yin Yang and Saiju Song from the devouring space. "Yes, it's them." The Zhao family martial artist nodded solemnly. He was already controlled by Yi Xian's eye of control, so his words could not be false. "All right, Tell me the situation at that time. Yi Xian shouted in a low voice. He originally thought that he had found the wrong place and that the patriarch Yin Yang did not leave from the 8 great families' trans-realm teleportation array. Now, it seemed that he had found the right place. At that time, I was discussing with the patriarch. That senior had just arrived and scared us. Then that senior directly took out millions of soul crystals. He was extremely generous and did not have any aura. He was like an ordinary person. He was obviously a super expert, so the patriarch immediately agreed. The Zhao family martial artist described the situation at that time. What was the situation with that man and woman? Yi Xian asked again. At that time, they were following behind that senior. They didn't say anything, but their auras were much stronger than the patriarch's. Powerful? A lot. Yi Xian was helpless. The Zhao family's martial artist was talking about the situation a year ago. A year ago, Song Suijing and Adjudicator Song had already surpassed the Zhao family's patriarch. In other words, old ancestor Yin Yang had allowed the Song siblings to break through to the manifestation realm from the supremacy realm in a short period of time. What realm is your clan head at? Yi Xian asked curiously. My father was at the 5th level of the manifestation realm last year, but he has already broken through to the 6th level of the manifestation realm this year. Zhao Kuan answered without even thinking. 5th level of the manifestation realm. Yi Xian couldn't help but swallow his saliva. If that was the case, then Song Suijing and Adjudicator Song's strength had already surpassed the 5th level of the manifestation realm at that time. Seeing that Yi Xian was interested in this, Zhao Kuan continued. My father said that the senior's strength was unfathomable. He was at least a Nether Passage Realm expert. Nether Passage Realm? Yi Xian raised his eyebrows. He suddenly thought of a question and asked, can a Nether Passage Realm expert live for 300 years? Back then, old ancestor Yin Yang had searched for a perfect Yin and Yang dual physique for a full 230 years. Therefore, Yi Xian estimated that the old man was at least 300 years old, or even 400 years old. Zhao Kuan thought for a moment before replying, even if it's a manifestation realm expert, if they don't have any hidden injuries on their body, they can only live for 200 years at most. A Nether Passage Realm expert can only live for 50 years at most. As for living for 300 to 400 years, I reckon that only Nirvana Realm experts can do it. In this world, it was difficult for martial artists to make breakthroughs through normal cultivation. Only by constantly fighting and killing could they increase their strength quickly. Constantly fighting and lingering on the edge of life and death would leave behind hidden injuries in their bodies, resulting in short lifespans. Although the sect of the God of Ghosts and Corpse King Palace had 1,000-year-old ghosts, they had all died during spirit disaster. It was impossible to refine a manifestation realm expert into a corpse king or ghost spirit. Tell me about the realms after the manifestation realm. Yi Xian saw that Zhao Kuan knew a lot and hurriedly asked again. Right now, he only knew about the manifestation realm. He didn't know what was after the manifestation realm. Manifestation realm, Nether Passage realm, Fulfillment realm, Fragmentation realm, Nirvana realm, Longevity realm, Samsara realm, Indestructible realm, and Heaven Connecting realm. These 9 realms are collectively known as the 9 realms of Heaven Connecting realm. The Manifestation realm is only the first of the 9 realms of Heaven Connecting realm. I'm not too sure about the Nether Passage realm, Fulfillment realm, and Fragmentation realm, but I've heard that in the Nirvana realm, every time a Nirvana realm expert succeeds, their lifespan will greatly increase. As for the Longevity realm, it's even more terrifying. It's said that one can live for several thousand years. After Yi Xian heard Zhao Kuan's words, he was completely shocked. There were actually so many realms after the manifestation realm. No wonder there was always a saying in the world, the martial path had no end. It turned out that this was really just the beginning. The Nirvana realm greatly increases one's lifespan, and the Longevity realm increases one's lifespan by several thousand years. What about the Rebirth realm, Imperishable realm, and Heaven Connecting realm? Yi Xian asked again. It's said that the Rebirth realm allows one to break through life and death and reincarnate. If someone is dissatisfied with their current situation, or is nearing the end of their lifespan, or is heavily injured, they can reincarnate and cultivate again. It's said that the Imperishable realm experts can be reborn from a drop of blood, becoming immortal and indestructible. As for the Heaven Connecting realm, they already have the means to reach the heavens. I'm not very clear about that either. Zhao Kuan explained to Yi Xian one by one. Yi Xian and Lualua were so shocked that they had no words to say.
The rebirth realm actually allowed one to reincarnate.
In the future, if there were experts nearing the end of their lifespan, they could reincarnate and cultivate again.
That way they could live forever.
As for the imperishable realm, it was even more terrifying. They could actually be reborn from a drop of blood. They were practically unkillable cockroaches. The heaven-connecting realm has the means to reach the heavens. This sounds very powerful. Yi Xian swallowed his saliva and asked again. That is to say, everyone in this world could have been an unparalleled expert in their previous life?
Yes.
Master, you could have been a super expert in the heaven-connecting realm in your previous life. Zhao Kuan hurriedly flattered him. Hearing this, Yi Xian also recalled himself. He had transmigrated, but before he transmigrated, the unlucky Yi Xian had already died. Then, was he the unlucky Yi Xian in his previous life, or was he the Yi Xian from Earth? Chapter 1103. It's a bit messy. Let's not think about it. My previous life is my previous life, and this life is my current life. If he's really the reincarnation of an expert, then hurry up and unlock my inherited memories. It's best to give me the location of a huge treasure or a peerless divine technique. Yi Xian shook his head. It was useless to think so much now. Anyway, he was only in the manifestation realm now. Nirvana, longevity, reincarnation, and immortality were all too far away from him. What he was thinking now was to find Song Sui Jing and Adjudicator Song, then kill that Yin Yang old ancestor. It was that simple. Now, Yi Xian finally found another clue. Next, he would go through the inter-realm portal of the 8 great families and head to the glazed light sacred ground. However, to use the inter-realm portal, he would need the approval of 4 of the 8 great families. This was not a simple matter. However, he had Zhao Kuan, the young master of the Zhao family, as his servant. It was not impossible to use the inter-realm portal. A day later, the Haifeng dragon entered the Zhao family's territory. The checkpoints set up by the Zhao family were all opened after seeing Zhao Kuan and the others on the Haifeng dragon. What's going on? Why does the Zhao family have so many checkpoints? Aren't they being too careful? Yi Xian asked in surprise. Master, it's like this. Recently, the 4 great families in the Bloodcloth sect have some conflicts, so the Bloodcloth sect wants to get rid of us. These checkpoints are to prevent the Bloodcloth sect's assassins from sneaking in and killing the people of the Zhao family. Zhao Kuan replied. The Bloodcloth sect is not weak to be able to go against the 8 great families, right? Yi Xian murmured. If the 4 great families were to unite, we would not be afraid of the Bloodcloth sect. However, the 4 great families were established separately, so we have to be careful, Zhao Kuan said. After hearing this, Yi Xian nodded silently. No wonder Zhao Kuan was in a hurry to return to the Zhao family. He was afraid of the Bloodcloth sect's assassins. At this moment, they had passed through the last checkpoint of the Zhao family and landed in front of the Zhao family. The Zhao family, the head of the 8 great families, just the land they occupied was several times larger than the Zhou family, and their population had reached 50,000 people. There were more than 100 manifestation realm experts in the Zhao family alone. Among them, there was even an aura stronger than the Zhou family's old patriarch, Zhou Xiong, and there was more than one of them. The Zhao family was indeed full of hidden dragons and crouching tigers. Zhao Kuan, you're back? As soon as they landed, a middle-aged man came up to them. Second uncle, the Zhou clan has agreed to cooperate, Zhao Kuan said directly when he saw the person. Zhao Kuan's second uncle, Zhao Xian, wasn't very strong. Like Zhao Kuan, he was only at the 3rd level of the manifestation realm, but his management skills were impressive. His status was second only to the Zhao family patriarch. All right, then we will be called the 4 great families from now on. However, I am afraid that the blood-clad sect will directly attack the 4 great families. Zhao Xian said worriedly. Second uncle, we are the bloodcloth sect's main target. The Zhou family is only a 4th-level manifestation realm martial artist like Patriarch Zhou. The bloodcloth sect is nothing in their eyes, reminded Zhao Kuan. It's better to be careful. After Zhao Xian finished speaking, his gaze fell on Yi Xian and Luo. He said, these 2 are. They are good friends I made while traveling outside. They have now joined my Zhao family, Zhao Kuan hurriedly replied. Previously, Yi Xian wanted to use the excuse of being a Zhou family disciple to join the Zhao family. However, after controlling Zhao Kuan, He thought that using this excuse was better. Being a good friend of the Zhao family's young master would make it easier for him to act in the future.
Your good friend.
Zhao Xian was slightly surprised after hearing this. Because Zhao Kun had a proud and aloof personality, those who could make friends with him definitely had some ability. Zhao Xian carefully sized them up. He estimated that Yi Xian was younger than Zhao Kun.
Being able to break through to the second level of the manifestation realm, he could be considered a top figure.
After all, Zhao Kun had the Zhao family as his backing. As for Luo Luo, she was even more terrifying. This little girl is from the Fox clan. This is rare. How old are you this year? Zhao Xian's gaze fell on Luo Luo. 15 this year. Luo Luo smiled sweetly. 15. This answer gave Zhao Xian a fright. One should know that when Zhao Kun was 15, he had not broken through to the manifestation realm.
However, Luo Luo was already at the first level of the manifestation realm.
Her aptitude was much better than Zhao Kun's. The Fox clan is born with the ability to charm. If they mate with a human, unless their bloodline or realm is suppressed, they will also be born from the Fox clan. In my Zhao family, there has never been a member of the Fox clan. If this little girl can marry into my Zhao family's stability will greatly increase in the future. Zhao Xian looked at Luo Luo with a smile as he thought to himself. His plan was to let Zhao Kun marry Luo Luo and become a member of the Zhao family. At that time, he could use Luo Luo's charm ability to charm people from other factions and obtain secrets. It could also increase the Zhao family's stability. This was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. No, it was killing 3 birds with 1 stone because Luo Luo's aptitude was stronger than Zhao Kun's. Good. Zhao Kun, you have done well this time. Immediately arrange the best residence for our esteemed guest, Zhao Xian hurriedly said.
Yes, second uncle.
Zhao Kun nodded slightly and immediately rode the Heifeng heavenly dragon into the Zhao family. Zhao Xian looked at their backs and revealed a sly expression.
However, what he did not know was that he had invited an ingrate into his house.
Soon, Zhao Kun rode the Heifeng heavenly dragon and landed in his courtyard. Master, there are a few residences beside my residence. You can stay there from now on, Zhao Kun said to Yi Xian. The residences don't matter. The 4 of you should move quickly. Yi Xian jumped off the Heifeng heavenly dragon and landed on the ground. He could not wait and said. The move he was talking about was to confiscate all of Zhao Kun's belongings. After all, the 4 of them were out on a mission and would not bring everything with them. Yes. The 4 of them responded, and the other 3 Zhao family's consecrators quickly left. Zhao Kun also directly entered the room, and then opened a hidden mechanism array, and took out an interspatial ring. Yi Xian took the interspatial ring from Zhao Kun and quickly checked it. 10,000 soul crystals and various worldly treasures. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and said, These 5,000 soul crystals and worldly treasures, go and exchange them all for ores. Although the special soul crystals could increase Yi Xian's cultivation level and soul strength, if they were exchanged for ores, Wei Zhentian would be able to absorb 5,000 soul crystals due to the co-growth contract. It was equivalent to double the amount. Yes. Although Zhao Kun did not know why Yi Xian wanted ores, he immediately did as he was told. While he was gone, Yi Xian took advantage of the time when he was gone to take the heavenly and earthly treasures for cultivation, and then specially devoured the remaining 5,000 soul crystals. Chapter 1104. Now that I have constructed 2 soul altars, if I refine the soul crystals, it actually increases the soul strength of both soul altars. I thought I would have to split them equally. Yi Xian suddenly noticed this. This was a pretty good piece of news. In next to no time, the other 3 experts at the 3rd level of the Wanxiang stage returned. This time, Yi Xian directly swallowed all of their things. It was already not bad for a 3rd level manifestation realm martial practitioner to have more than 5,000 soul crystals. After all, they had to cultivate themselves. The total value of these 3 people barely surpassed 10,000 soul crystals. After breaking through to the manifestation realm, my experience has increased greatly. What a tragedy. Yi Xian waited in Zhao Kun's courtyard with slight helplessness. A while later, Zhao Kun returned. Young master, I have already gone to the weapon pavilion to exchange all of the soul crystals for forging materials. Zhao Kun handed over a universe ring. Yi Xian took the universe ring and consumed all of the forging materials inside. Ding, Wei Zhentian broke through. The system notified. Right now, Wei Zhentian had surpassed Yi Xian and reached the 3rd level of the manifestation realm. However, Yi Xian was still stuck at the 2nd level of the manifestation realm and could not break through. Wei Zhentian's breakthrough could first increase the strength of the sky-shaking sword, then increase his strength. Right now, he could probably fight a 3rd level manifestation realm expert alone. If he used 10,000 swords, its power would increase greatly. It was killing 3 birds with 1 stone. I haven't been able to break through yet, but now that I have heard the news, I need to increase my strength as soon as possible. Yi Xian's mind moved. Right now, he was in the Zhao family, the head of the 4 great families. The Zhao family had a rich foundation. If he did not take advantage of it, he would be letting down Zhao Kuan. Using the eye of control to control people and take their wealth was a good method, but he could use other methods to make money. There are materials in the devouring space. Yi Xian's gaze swept and finally landed on a pill. Soul condensing pill. Could increase the strength of the soul. This pill is not bad. Yi Xian nodded slightly. This soul consolidating pill could be directly exchanged for using the super devouring crystal. There was no need to refine it. However, the disadvantage was that the pills used for cultivation were useless to him. Zhao Kuan, take these 100 low-rank soul consolidating pills. They can increase the strength of one's soul by quite a bit. They are definitely much better than soul crystals. You can decide the price. Yi Xian threw a universe ring to Zhao Kuan and said, "You said that the Zhao family had a spirit spring. Take Luo there and cultivate." "Yes, master." Zhao Kuan replied. There was a spirit spring in the Zhao family, and the heaven and earth yuan qi was very abundant. It was the place where the Zhao family members cultivated. Luo, on the other hand, could absorb heaven and earth yuan qi on her own. With the help of heaven and earth treasures and the effects of the spirit spring, she would probably be able to break through again very soon. After that, Zhao Kuan and the others left while Yi Xian continued to wait. After a while, Luolua's surprised voice sounded. "Young master, the heaven and earth yuan qi in this spirit spring is really abundant. Give me 2 hours, and I can break through to the 2nd level of the manifestation realm. In 3 days I can break through to the 3rd level of the manifestation realm." Hearing this, Yi Xian revealed a satisfied smile. The heaven-loathing fox bloodline was really too terrifying. It could actually absorb the surrounding heaven and earth yuan qi. If Luolua were to refine the heaven and earth yuan qi, the speed would be explosive. After a period of time, Zhao Kuan returned once again. "Young master, the 100 soul consolidating pills were worth a total of 30,000 soul crystals. Among them, we also exchanged 10,000 soul crystals for forging materials." After Zhao Kuan finished speaking, he handed the items to Yi Xian. These soul consolidating pills were exchanged directly. It was much more expensive than if Yi Xian personally refined them. Therefore the profit was not much. However, these items were enough for Yi Xian to break through. Ding! The host has broken through. The host is currently at the 3rd level of the manifestation realm. After he swallowed everything, he heard a series of system notifications. He finally broke through. At this time, Zhao Kuan said, "All right, master, just now, our Zhao family received news that the experts of our 4 major families in Golden Flame City were all assassinated by the Bloodcloth sect." "All of them were killed by the Bloodcloth sect?" Yi Xian raised his eyebrows. This was really unfortunate news for the Zhao family. Our Zhao family and the Bloodcloth sect have conflicts. The Bloodcloth sect is an assassin organization and has the portraits of most of the experts of our 4 major families. Therefore, this time, we want to send some experts who just joined our Zhao family to investigate. Zhao Kuan continued. "Experts who just joined the Zhao family? Then I fit the bill." Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. He knew why Zhao Kuan brought this up. He wanted to ask him if he was willing to go. However, before he went, he had to ask about the specific situation. "How many experts do the 4 major families of Golden Flame City have?" Yi Xian asked. "Our 4 major families each have 2 4th-level manifestation realm experts and 5 3rd-level manifestation realm experts in Golden Flame City." Zhao Kuan answered without thinking. 2 4th-level manifestation realm experts and 5 3rd-level manifestation realm experts. Then in total, there are 8 4th-level manifestation realm experts and 23rd-level manifestation realm experts. With this kind of strength, they were actually wiped out by the Bloodcloth sect. It seems that the Bloodcloth sect also sent many experts. Yi Xian muttered and asked again. Then, will the Zhao family send a 5th-level manifestation realm expert this time? No, this is obviously a trap set by the Bloodcloth sect. That is why we need to send people to investigate first. Our Zhao family only has 3 5th-level manifestation realm experts. We cannot lose any of them. Zhao Kuan shook his head. A trap, huh? Yi Xian pondered for a moment in his heart. The Bloodcloth sect's assassins suddenly attacked Golden Flame City and killed all the experts of the 4 major families. Perhaps a 5th-level manifestation realm expert came. If the 4 major families rashly sent experts, it would be a tragedy if they fell into a trap. That was why they sent people to investigate first. Yi Xian possessed the Eye of Control and just so happened to have just joined the Zhao family. The Bloodcloth sect did not have information on him. If he went to investigate, it would be extremely easy. Golden Flame City is a springboard for me. As long as this matter is resolved, I can at least break through to the 4th level of the manifestation realm. Thinking of this, Yi Xian agreed. All right, I will go this time. Master, my father has already sent experts. This is the map. Zhao Kuan took out a map and handed it to Yi Xian without hesitation. Remember to take good care of Luoluo when I am not here. Yi Xian reminded. Although Luoluo should not be in any danger in the Zhao family, who knew if the Bloodcloth sect would directly attack? Fortunately, Yi Xian still had the Eye of the Void. He directly located the Zhao family. If Luoluo was in danger, he could directly send a sound transmission to him. At that time, he would directly fly back. Chapter 1105. Golden Fire City was a day's journey from the Zhao family. This was based on the speed of a level 3 manifestation realm martial artist. However, it was only a matter of half a day for Yi Xian. Less than 2 hours after he left the Zhao family, Luoluo sent him news of her breakthrough. The current Luoluo had no problem dealing with a level 3 manifestation realm martial artist. Even a level 4 manifestation realm martial artist would not be able to kill her. After the Corpse King Palace was destroyed, the mission system never appeared again. It's a bit of a scam. Give me another mission this time. Yi Xian thought to himself as he hurried on his way. He had accepted 2 chain random missions and completed them each time. Moreover, the mission rewards were quite good. Bloodline was the foundation of his ability to challenge those of a higher level. If his bloodline was strong enough, it would not be a problem for him to challenge those of a level 4 or 5. However, what Yi Xian wanted the most recently was the Combat Bloodline Expansion tab. This was because he already had 5 bloodlines in his body. He only needed 1 more to activate the Bloodline Fusion System. He wondered how powerful the Bloodline Fusion System was. Yi Xian did not know the effects of the Bloodline Fusion System. However, Yi Xian had already chosen the 2nd Combat Bloodline. This Combat Bloodline appeared after the system was updated. It was much more powerful than the Sword God Bloodline. Unfortunately, he could not activate the Combat Bloodline Expansion tab yet. Half a day passed by quickly. After half a day, Yi Xian arrived at Golden Fire City. It was currently late at night, but the city gates of Golden Fire City were not closed. Golden Fire City was brightly lit and there was an endless stream of people. Human manifestation realm martial artists that had not appeared in the land of the dead for thousands of years could be seen everywhere in Golden Fire City. Although the 4 major families were established separately in Golden Fire City, they were not far from each other. The Bloodcloth sect was actually able to assassinate all the martial artists. Perhaps they are at level 5 manifestation realm. Yi Xian thought to himself as he walked towards the Zhao family's stronghold in Golden Fire City. Golden Fire City was already occupied by the Bloodcloth sect. Occasionally, there would be Bloodcloth sect disciples wandering around. They were looking for people from the 4 major families. Yi Xian had only been in the Zhao family for half a day. It was impossible for these people to recognize him. Soon, he arrived at Golden Flame City's Zhao family. However, there were no longer any Manifestation Realm Zhao family members in the Zhao family. All of them were experts from the Bloodclad sect. Only a 4th-level Manifestation Realm martial artist. Yi Xian raised an eyebrow. With his strength at the 3rd level of the Manifestation Realm, killing a 4th-level Manifestation Realm martial artist wasn't difficult. However, since Golden Fire City's Zhao clan had a 4th-level Manifestation Realm martial artist, the other 3 clans might also have one as well. Thus, he still had to investigate the other 3 clans first. He hurriedly visited the other 3 clans and discovered that they all only had 1 4th level manifestation realm expert. This was a little illogical. The 4 great clans had a total of 8 4th level manifestation realm martial artists stationed in Golden Flame City. Although it was possible for 4 4th level manifestation realm martial artists to assassinate them, it was unlikely. Could it be that this is not a trap, and after the bloodcloth sex experts finished killing, they directly left? Yi Xian pondered. Just in case, he decided to walk around a bit more. As expected, things weren't as simple as they seemed. Although the 4 great clans had set up strongholds separately, there was still a palace in the middle of the 4 great clans for discussion. And in this palace, there was actually a 5th level manifestation realm martial artist. A 5th level manifestation realm martial artist. If I don't have 10,000 swords returned to origin, it will be more troublesome to deal with him. Yi Xian wasn't confident. After all, 10,000 swords returned to origin still needed a day to cool down. Although he could still make a move without this trump card, it would alert the enemy. The others probably haven't arrived yet. I better infiltrate them secretly. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and decided not to clash head-on with this group of blood-clothed assassins. He immediately returned to Golden Fire City's Zhao clan. Eye of Control. Ding. Control successful. Ding. Control successful. The 2 2nd-level manifestation realm blood-clothed assassins guarding the entrance of Golden Fire City's Zhao clan were easily controlled by Yi Xian. You come here. Yi Xian gave an order to one of the blood-clothed assassins through the air. The blood-clothed assassin left his post and followed Yi Xian into a small alley. What's your name? Yi Xian asked. Li Gang. The 30-year-old blood-clothed assassin answered. Deaths and injuries are inevitable due to the grudges between 2 clans. Yi Xian muttered and directly stabbed the blood-clothed assassin's chest with his sword. Rip. The 2nd-level manifestation realm blood-clothed assassin died instantly. Then, Yi Xian put away the corpse in the universe ring, and put on the face-changing mask at the same time. In the next moment, his face turned into Li Gang's appearance. Although this blood-clothed assassin was already dead, Yi Xian could disguise himself as anyone he controlled. Coincidentally, his figure was similar to this blood-clothed assassin, so he wouldn't be exposed normally. Blood-clothed sect cultivates the blue blood technique. Their bodies emit a bloody aura. Yi Xian learned the blue blood technique in the universe ring and walked out. Now, he was blood-clothed sect's disciple, Li Gang. He wanted to use this identity to enter Golden Fire City's Zhao clan. The blood-clothed sect was an assassin organization with extremely powerful assassination methods. The Zhao clan's experts were all killed in this way. This time, Yi Xian wanted to use assassination methods to eliminate the blood-clothed sect's experts. Using the eye of perception and his spiritual sense, he could sense every movement of all the blood-clothed assassins in the Zhao clan. Currently, in the Zhao clan, other than the 4th-level manifestation realm expert, there were 4 3rd-level manifestation realm experts. Yi Xian used Li Gang's identity to enter Golden Fire City's Zhao clan and approached the nearest 3rd-level manifestation realm expert. On the way, when some of the Zhao clan's servants saw him, they immediately lowered their heads and walked quickly, not daring to look him in the eye. The blood-clothed sect was infamous. If they were provoked, their heads would roll in the next moment. Soon, Yi Xian found his first target. This blood-clothed sex enforcer was cultivating in the courtyard when Yi Xian directly walked over. All manifestation realm experts had spiritual senses. Even if they closed their eyes, they could still sense the movements in their surroundings. This 3rd-level manifestation realm expert sensed Yi Xian's arrival and asked without opening his eyes, "What is it?" "Lord Enforcer, this disciple picked up a treasure map and wishes to present it to you." Yi Xian disguised himself as Li Gang and said. Although he was at the 3rd level of the manifestation realm, he could suppress himself to the 2nd level of the manifestation realm with the help of the disguise mask. At such a close distance, even this 3rd-level enforcer did not discover him. A treasure map? This enforcer opened his eyes with interest. Yi Xian used this opportunity to approach him and took out a sheepskin scroll at the same time. This blood-clothed sect enforcer's eyes lit up. Just as he was about to praise Yi Xian, the sound of wind suddenly appeared. Chapter 1106. Whoosh! A cold glint entered the left side of the bloodcloth sex protector's chest. His body trembled slightly as his eyes rolled upwards. Zhao family's strongest sword technique, heart-shattering sword.
Although the wound on the bloodcloth sect guardian's left chest was so small that it did not even bleed, his heart had already been split into two.
Third level of the manifestation realm. Dead. Subsequently, Yi Xian quickly put away the bloodcloth sect guardian's corpse and interspatial ring.
F***CK. There's no reason for there to be so little.
Could it be that everything was turned in? Yi Xian checked the interspatial ring and realized that there was not much in it. It seemed that the bloodcloth sect's experts had taken everything. However, Yi Xian did not care.
After all, the Zhao family still had 3 third level of the manifestation realm experts and more than 22nd level of the manifestation realm experts.
If he killed all of these people, the total amount of loot would be very impressive. Subsequently, Yi Xian continued his operation. Along the way, he encountered some second level of the manifestation realm disciples and killed them without hesitation. With his cultivation level, he probably did not even need half a second to kill these people. In less than a minute, the entire bloodcloth sect's disciples in the Zhao family of Golden Flame City were almost wiped out. At the same time, Yi Xian also obtained a large amount of wealth. At this moment, the 4th level manifestation realm blood cloak sect elder from Golden Flame City's Zhao clan opened his eyes. He felt that something wasn't right. Originally, he could sense quite a few auras, but now, only a few auras remained. These bastards, did they all go out to slack off? The bloodcloth sect's elder cursed in his heart before he walked out to check. They had a mission in the Zhao family of Golden Flame City. They did not know when the experts from the 4 major families would arrive, so they could not relax. However, when he walked out, a bloodcloth sect's disciple approached him. What's going on? Why did everyone leave? The bloodcloth sect's elder asked. Elder Qiu came over just now and took everyone away. He said that he discovered the experts from the 8 major families and started to search for them, the bloodcloth sect's disciple replied. I see. All right then. You guys keep a lookout. The blood-robed sect elder didn't think too much about it. After he spoke, he turned around and returned to his room. But at this moment, swish! The sound of something breaking through the air was suddenly heard. What? The bloodcloth sect's elder was shocked.
However, when his 10,000 mammoth force surged out, a cold light had already entered his head.
Pooh! A muffled sound came from his head, and then his body slowly fell down.
He couldn't understand why a fellow disciple would ambush him, and what he couldn't understand even more was that with his cultivation at the 4th level of the manifestation stage, he was actually successfully ambushed by a 2nd level manifestation stage disciple.
How was this possible?
However, how could he know that the blood-clad sect's disciple in front of him was only a disguise?
This person was none other than Yi Xian. Success! Yi Xian's eyes lit up as he quickly collected the corpse of the blood-clad sect's elder. So what if the bloodcloth sect was proficient in assassination? Didn't they still die in his hands? With his strength, even if he directly killed his way into Golden Flame City's Zhao clan, he wouldn't be in any danger. However, this would attract the attention of the other 3 clans. Most importantly, the 5th level manifestation stage blood-clad sect's expert would make a move. However, using this kind of assassination method to eliminate the blood-clad sect's expert bit by bit, even if the blood-clad sect's expert had a high cultivation, he wouldn't know. Immediately, Yi Xian checked the interspatial ring of the dead blood-clad sect's elder. Not bad. 20,000 soul crystals and a large amount of items. Yi Xian nodded his head in satisfaction. Although 20,000 soul crystals couldn't help him break through, it could increase his cultivation and soul strength by at least 30%. Next, he would clean up all the blood-clad sect's disciples in the Zhao clan, leaving none behind. After that, he left Golden Flame City's Zhao clan and headed to his next target. With the Eye of Control, his disguise ability was unmatched. Using the same method, he also cleaned up the Qian clan, which was ranked 2nd among the 4 major clans. Next was the 3rd clan, the Sun clan. Once I clean up the 4 major clans, I'll probably be able to break through to the 4th level of the manifestation realm. At that time, I'll find trouble with that 5th level manifestation realm expert. As Yi Xian thought in his heart, he used the same method as before to infiltrate the Sun clan. With the strength of his soul, he could directly control a 3rd level manifestation realm expert. He didn't need to kill them. Controlling people was much more useful than killing them. Soon, The 5 manifestation realm experts of the Sun Clan were all under Yi Xian's control, and all their items fell into his pocket. Unfortunately, these people didn't have many items on them, so they probably all fell into the hands of the 5th level manifestation realm expert. Next, Yi Xian was going to assassinate the 4th level manifestation realm expert overseeing the Sun Clan. Elder Qiu, I obtained a treasure map in a hidden location in the Sun Clan. I want to give it to you. Yi Xian arrived outside the blood-clad sex elder's room and shouted. Creak. The door opened, and a red-haired old man walked out. Treasure map? Let me take a look. The red-haired old man was also very interested, because Yi Xian said that he found it in a hidden location in the Sun Clan. It might be something good. Yes. Yi Xian took the opportunity to approach with the treasure map, then passed it to the red-haired old man. The red-haired old man took the map and opened it to take a look, but he couldn't find any clues for a moment. As for Yi Xian, he was prepared to take advantage of the time when the old man was sizing up the treasure map to kill him. But right at this moment, enemy attack! An explosive shout spread throughout the Sun Clan. Enemy attack? The Sun Clan's blood-clad sect expert trembled. At the same time, the red-haired old man in front of Yi Xian abruptly turned his head, just in time to see Yi Xian pull out the Skyquake sword and stab at him. You scoundrel, you dare to ambush me? The red-haired old man immediately used his all-creation strength to dodge the fatal strike, but he was also shocked. If it wasn't for that explosive shout, he would have been killed by Yi Xian. At this moment, Yi Xian was also very helpless. He knew that he couldn't be exposed. That explosive shout should have been from the other blood-clad sect members who had discovered the experts of the 4 great clans and wanted to warn the others. What a useless teammate! Yi Xian cursed in his heart. If it wasn't for those obstructing experts of the 4 great clans, he would have succeeded. However, so what if he failed once? Heartbreak sword technique. Heartbreak sword. Yi Xian held the Skyquake sword and stabbed at the red-haired old man again. Zhao Clan's Heartbreak sword technique. Humph. The red-haired old man recognized it at a glance and hurriedly used his all-creation strength to repel Yi Xian's Skyquake sword. At the same time, he also struck out with his palm, hitting Yi Xian's shoulder. Chapter 1107. Bang! The sound spread out and attracted the attention of the surrounding people. However, Yi Xian did this on purpose. Old man, try my killing technique with my eyes. Yi Xian laughed in his heart as his eyes flashed. Eye of devastation. Whoosh! The silver slash pierced through the air and instantly cut off the red-clothed old man's head. However, at the same time, he was also targeted by the surrounding people and exposed his identity. He killed Elder Qiu. Quick! Inform the blood-clothed emperor. In the next moment, several red lights rose into the sky and then exploded under the night sky. Blood-colored fireworks were extremely dazzling. On the other side, a blood-clothed youth in the discussion palace of the 4 major clans opened his eyes and quickly rushed out. Exposed? So what? Yi Xian sneered. He had just infiltrated the Zhou clan and only controlled 5 3rd-level manifestation realm protectors. As for the 1st-level and 2nd-level manifestation realm disciples, he had not killed them yet. He immediately killed his way out and killed the 30 blood-clothed sect disciples around him. After the last person died, there was also an extremely strong aura that broke into his perception range. That 5th-level manifestation realm expert? The blood-clothed emperor? Yi Xian frowned slightly. He had heard what the group of disciples said earlier, but he never expected that the 5th-level manifestation realm expert overseeing Golden Flame City was actually the blood-cloth sect's young sect master, Shui Yi, who was also the Shui Yi Tianzi. He dared to call himself emperor. He was quite bold. Emperor. Son of heaven. This blood-clothed sect's young master dared to call himself the blood-clothed emperor, so he definitely had some skills. Come, let me kill you, emperor. Yi Xian was waiting in the Sun Clan. However, at this moment, ding, the host triggered a random mission. Kill the blood-clothed emperor. Reward, Divine Tree of Life Bloodline Advancement once. The system notification suddenly sounded. Hearing this, Yi Xian's eyes lit up. It was finally triggered. He had always had a premonition that this operation would trigger a random mission, but he didn't expect it to really come true. Although the Tree of Life's bloodline advancement was not as effective as other bloodlines, Yi Xian naturally wouldn't reject it since it was a free gift. Blood-robed Tianzi, I've been waiting for you for a long time. Yi Xian roared. His entire body blossomed with golden light like the sun. After the brilliant golden armor appeared, he launched an attack at the blood-robed prince. Beams of golden sword chi merged with the all-creation's force and swept toward the blood-robed emperor. Third level of the manifestation realm? The blood-robed emperor was stunned. He didn't expect that the one who attacked him was only at the third level of the manifestation realm. However, he could also sense that the all-creation strength of the blade before him was almost on par with a fourth-level manifestation realm martial artist. Moreover, its attack far surpassed that of an ordinary fourth-level manifestation realm martial artist. I don't care who you are, die. The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven didn't say anything and directly fought back. A golden sword chi and a scarlet sword chi collided. Boom! A loud sound rang out, and waves of air surged. The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven's face sank. He was slightly surprised and felt very uncomfortable. As the young lord of the blood-robed sect, a fifth-level manifestation realm martial artist, he couldn't kill a 10,000-level manifestation realm martial artist in one strike. It was simply a disgrace. Crimson blood overflowing sky. The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven was already prepared to tear Yi Xian into pieces. With a bang, the true qi in his body gushed out crazily and condensed into a blood cloud above their heads. Yi Xian glanced at the blood cloud above his head. Coincidentally, the blood cloud extended a few blood tentacles and grabbed at him. This move had already been copied by Yi Xian, but because he hadn't mastered the blue blood technique yet, it didn't have much effect. Divine power, dragon-catching hand. Yi Xian directly ignored the blood tentacles and launched an attack at the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven. Although the Zhao family also had many divine powers, Yi Xian felt that there was a saying that was very good. One skill could conquer the world. The dragon-catching hand's restriction ability was very strong. Coupled with the heartbreak sword technique and a movement technique, it was enough. A golden dragon-catching hand appeared, but the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven had already dodged it. Go ahead and hide. Let's see who has more true qi. Yi Xian coldly snorted in his heart. In terms of recovery ability, he wasn't afraid of anyone. The divine power consumed a lot of true qi, but he could still recover. Dragon-catching hand. Heartbreak sword technique. Yi Xian dodged while attacking the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven. However, the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven didn't counterattack. This kid is condensing the blood cloud. What is he planning to do? Yi Xian, who had the Eye of Revelation, immediately discovered the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven's little trick. Those tentacles were actually grabbing the ordinary people around them. These people were grabbed by the blood tentacles and immediately had their blood sucked out, turning into dried corpses. At this moment, whoosh whoosh, the blood cloud above his head suddenly began to stir. In the blink of an eye, it condensed into a red storm. Yi Xian also felt a suction force, and his figure was constantly swept towards the red storm. At the same time, the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven finally launched his attack. If it was an ordinary person, they would be directly swept away by the red storm. However, Yi Xian's soul strength was comparable to a fourth-level manifestation realm, so his speed was only slightly reduced. I can't stay in the air, or else I'll die a horrible death. Yi Xian quickly dodged the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven's attack and landed on the ground. On the ground, his 90% agility advancement would be effective, and his speed could even catch up with the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven. However, what he didn't understand was why the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven condensed this red storm. However, in the next moment he understood. There's no need for Golden Fire City to exist anymore. Everyone die! The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven's eyes flickered as he directly charged towards Yi Xian. As for the red storm, it directly swept through Golden Fire City. Countless people were caught in it and were instantly shredded into pieces by the blood-red wind blades. What? He's going to massacre the city? Yi Xian was shocked. This blood-robed Emperor of Heaven was too cruel. Not only did he assassinate the experts of the four great families, but now he was going to massacre the city? This time, it was a trap set by the blood-robed sect. Their goal was to lure the experts of the four great families over. However, after seeing Yi Xian, the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven felt that it was worth it. Yi Xian could fight with him at third-level manifestation realm. He was definitely the top genius of the four great families. The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven was celebrating with the lives of these innocent people. You blood-robed Emperor of Heaven, watch how I kill you. Yi Xian was furious. Even he had never done something like massacring a city, but the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven actually did it in front of him. He was courting death. Just you. The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven didn't care and only revealed an evil smile. Chapter 1108. I'll kill you and break through to the 4th level of the manifestation realm. Yi Xian's eyes flickered.
He knew that the good stuff must have been taken by the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven.
As long as he killed the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven, he would definitely be able to break through. At the same time, he could avenge these innocent people. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of people were swept into the Scarlet Bloodstorm and torn into pieces. In order to stop the Scarlet Bloodstorm, Yi Xian had to kill the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven as soon as possible. Kid, you should be satisfied that so many people will die with you. The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven sneered and turned into a stream of light that swept towards Yi Xian. Satisfied my ass. Yi Xian went up to meet him. In an instant, the two of them started to fight. Yi Xian, who had activated the Eye of Glory, coupled with his powerful soul and bloodline, could make up for the difference of 2 levels. However, under the red storm on the other side, people were constantly being torn apart. If it was a normal storm, even a spirit disaster expert might be able to dodge it. However, this red storm had the support of the Manifestation Realm 5th level of the Manifestation Realm from the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven. Even the blood-robed sect's disciples could not resist it. Young Sect Master, please stop. No, I don't want to die. Young Sect Master, why are you doing this? The red storm had no consciousness. Countless people were swept into it, including the blood-robed sect's disciples and even the guardians. Those who were swept into it were not spared and were all turned into minced meat without exception. At the same time, after so many people were swept to death, the red storm began to expand. This was the truly terrifying thing. If it grew, the entire Golden Flame City would really become a pile of ruins. One had to know that the entire Golden Flame City had millions of people. What a brutal blood-robed Emperor of Heaven. Take this. Killing intent surged in Yi Xian's heart. Previously, the corpse man had massacred many cities, but this time, he had personally encountered it. A giant golden sword suddenly appeared and slashed towards the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven. Overlord's limitless sword. Humph. Insignificant skill. Facing the giant golden sword, the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven dodged calmly. However, in the next moment, he knew that he was wrong. The tyrannical Emperor's limitless sword didn't rely on slashing, but on that formless pressure. This pressure, coupled with Yi Xian's all-creation strength, combined into one, was incomparably powerful. Gotcha! The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven couldn't avoid it. He fell from the sky and half of his body was embedded in the ground. The bones in his body were directly shattered, and even his skull was the same. Fortunately, he was one of the best amongst 5th-level Manifestation Realm martial artists. If it was an ordinary 5th-level Manifestation Realm martial artist, he would probably have already died under this sword strike. How can he be so strong? The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven was at a loss. In the next moment, he was about to receive Yi Xian's frenzied attacks. The blood-robed Tianzi's expression changed drastically. He quickly used the power of all things to break open the ground and drill into the ground. Then, he drilled out of the red blood storm. Just now, Yi Xian had caught him off guard with the Overlord's limitless sword. At the same time, the blood-robed Son of Heaven had suffered heavy injuries. He understood that Yi Xian was not someone to be trifled with. Now, he wanted to use the blood-robed sect's secret technique and cut Yi Xian into 1,000 pieces. However, he suddenly changed his mind. Ha ha ha, do you think you can kill me like that? The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven hid in the red blood storm and laughed loudly. At the same time, the fresh blood in the red blood storm gathered towards him and began to heal his injuries. F***CK, what kind of movement technique was that? He actually hid in the storm in the blink of an eye. Yi Xian was shocked. The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven's movement technique was impressive. Although he had copied it, it was the blood-robed sect's martial arts. Without the emerald blood technique, it was useless for him to learn it. The dignified blood-robed sect's young sect master is actually a coward. Fine, watch me break your turtle shell. Yi Xian's eyes flickered. I have devastation. I have decomposition. Golden dragon, catch your hand. Just now, the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven was there, so he could only attack him. If he attacked the red blood storm, wouldn't he become the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven's target? But now, the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven was hiding in the red bloodstorm, so it was a good opportunity to attack together. This red bloodstorm was 100 times stronger than the red blood corpse kings, and it would continue to grow. It was very troublesome. However, Yi Xian's true qi was free. Under his crazy attacks, the red bloodstorm clearly shrunk. Why does this kid have so much true qi? The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven was shocked. In these few seconds, Yi Xian used dozens of techniques and directly weakened the red bloodstorm by nearly half. In a battle between manifestation realm experts, they usually used manifestation force to attack. This was because using techniques consumed too much true qi, and using them continuously would double the consumption. However, Yi Xian did not seem to stop after using his techniques dozens of times. If this continued, the red bloodstorm that the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven had used a lot of true qi to condense would dissipate. Kid, I admit that you are very strong. You can actually force me to use this move. As soon as the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven's voice fell, Yi Xian outside focused his eyes and found that the red bloodstorm was rapidly shrinking. He did not attack, but the red bloodstorm became smaller by itself? No, it was the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven's doing. Yi Xian hurriedly looked with the eye of revelation and found that the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven was actually devouring the blood of the dead people. One had to know that thousands of people had died under this blood-eating storm. After the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven devoured the blood of the dead people, his aura began to gradually become stronger. Immediately, Yi Xian understood. Eye of Nirvana. Dragon-catching hand. Heartbreak sword technique. Yi Xian quickly attacked the red bloodstorm. Previously, the red bloodstorm had become smaller because his attack had dispersed the power of all creations on the red bloodstorm. Now the red bloodstorm had become smaller because the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven had used a secret technique to devour it. Yi Xian suddenly felt a little regretful. If he had used the Overlord's limitless sword at this time, the effect would have been very great. He could even have defeated the entire red bloodstorm. Unfortunately, the Overlord's limitless sword had been used to smash the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven, and it did not kill him. In the blink of an eye, the red bloodstorm had shrunk to a diameter of 100 meters. The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven's aura was also nearly twice as strong as before. Kid, you are dead meat. The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Whoosh! A cold light flashed, and the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven quickly dodged. The blood that he had devoured just now was all refined by him, causing his strength to soar by a large margin. Now, it was Yi Xian's time of death. But when he reacted, he found that he had turned around and ran far away. It's too late to run now. The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven muttered and quickly chased after him. However, what he did not know was that Yi Xian was not running away. Chapter 1109. Brat, don't even think about escaping. With a shout, a bloodcloth sect elder leaped into the air with a group of experts. I've been waiting for you. Yi Xian quickly rushed towards the bloodcloth sect elder. Whoosh! The heart-shattering sword pierced through the air and struck the bloodcloth sect elder's chest. Humph, stop him. The bloodcloth sect elder quickly dodged and shouted at the same time. However, in the next moment, his head directly exploded. The killer was not Yi Xian, but the 5 third-level manifestation realm bloodcloth sect guardians that Yi Xian controlled earlier. Previously, Yi Xian did not choose to kill these 5 people because they might be useful later on. Now they were useful. The bloodcloth sect disciples present were shocked. They could not understand why the 5 bloodcloth sect guardians would sneak attack the elder. Could it be that these people were in cahoots with Yi Xian? At the same time, Yi Xian had already rushed over and collected the universe ring of the last bloodcloth sect elder. Not enough. Yi Xian's expression did not look good because he was still short of leveling up. Even if he killed all the surrounding disciples, he would not be able to make up for it. Damn you, you can't be so stingy. So much wealth has been taken away, and you didn't leave anything for others. Yi Xian cursed in his heart. The target of his curses was naturally the bloodcloth emperor. The 4 major families in Golden Flame City were equivalent to the city lords. It was too much of a scam for the bloodcloth emperor to take away such a large amount of wealth. Otherwise, Yi Xian would have broken through by now and beaten the bloodcloth emperor. Sensing the powerful pursuer behind him, Yi Xian's expression darkened and he chose to run. On land, he had a 90% increase in movement speed. In addition to the constant harassment from the dragon catcher hands and the undying treasure Megatron, the Bloodcloth Emperor would not be able to catch up in a short time. However, there was a time limit to the blood-clothed prince's ability to increase his strength. Therefore, Yi Xian's plan was to stall for time and not really escape. Otherwise, he could have just broken through the void and left. Bull *T blood-robed emperor. Come and kill me. Yi Xian shouted angrily as he ran like a madman. Those who betray our bloodcloth sect, die. The blood-clothed emperor wasn't in a hurry to chase after Yi Xian. Instead, he killed the 5 third-level manifestation realm enforcers before chasing after Yi Xian. The escaping Yi Xian was like a tank. He rammed his way through the city walls, creating a huge hole in them. The blood-robed Emperor of Heaven's aura was still at its peak, so Yi Xian did not dare to turn around. If this continues, that brat is going to escape. After chasing out of the city, the eyes of the blood-clad Son of Heaven flashed as he used his trump card once more. 12 blood pillars trap him. True Qi surged, and the entire night instantly turned into the color of blood. Immediately after, huge blood pillars fell, directly blocking Yi Xian's path forward. Boom! 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 Yi Xian's footsteps paused as he looked at the enormous pillars of blood in front of him. There were hundreds of meters of gaps between the pillars of blood, but he could see that there were dense blood-colored threads between the gaps. If he were to forcefully charge through, he would probably be cut into countless pieces. What a brilliant ability! As expected of the Bloodcloth sect. Yi Xian sighed in his heart. Abilities were also divided into ranks. The Dragon Catcher Hand was a mid-level ability of the Manifestation Realm, and the Heartbreak Sword technique was also a mid-level ability. However, these 12 blood pillars were probably a high-level ability. However, Yi Xian quickly reacted and naturally wouldn't rush blindly. Eye of Nirvana! Eye of Nirvana! 2 silver lights flashed, directly splitting apart the blood-colored threads between the pillars. While the blood-colored threads were being repaired, Yi Xian directly passed through them. The blood-clad Son of Heaven wasn't very proficient in this move. Otherwise, the bloodlines would have split the Eye of Nirvana instead of being cut by the Eye of Nirvana. Seeing that Yi Xian successfully passed through, the blood-clad Son of Heaven's eyes flickered, and he shouted angrily, "Trap him again!" Boom! The 12 blood-colored pillars suddenly rose into the air. After tumbling in the air for a few weeks, they fiercely smashed in front of Yi Xian. This time, they surrounded Yi Xian so tightly that there was no gap at all. What? You can do that? Yi Xian was shocked. The 12 pillars just happened to seal off his front, back, left, and right. There was no gap at all, leaving only up and down for him. At this time, a blood cloud condensed above his head, and then a giant blood bell slammed down. What was worse was that when the 12 blood-colored pillars fell, they emitted a sizzling sound. The entire ground instantly turned into a sea of blood. The brilliant golden armor carelessly came into contact with a little bit of blood, and was corroded and penetrated. "Kid, you can't escape." The blood-clad Son of Heaven's voice came in. "Is that so?" Yi Xian didn't mind in the slightest in the face of this almost perfect seal. As his eyes flashed, a void door opened in front of him. However, he didn't pass through it. Instead, he directly pierced the void door with his sword. Heartbreaking sword technique. Whoosh! The sound of something breaking through the air rang out, but it came from outside the 12 blood-colored pillars. Then a "pu" sound was heard. This is impossible." The blood-clad Son of Heaven, who was outside the 12 blood pillars, widened his eyes in disbelief as he fell from the air. His heart was cut in half, and the blood-clad Son of Heaven died tragically on the spot. Within the 12 blood-colored pillars, Yi Xian looked at the void door in front of him and revealed a trace of a smile. The other side of the void door was the place he had just passed. His sword directly pierced the blood-clad Son of Heaven's back through the air. Tisk. TSK. TSK. I actually learned the legendary hitting a bull through a mountain. Yi Xian sneered in his heart. He watched the 12 pillars around him and the giant blood bell above his head disappear. At the same time, a notification sounded in his mind. Ding! The host has completed the random mission and successfully killed the blood-clad Son of Heaven. The reward is the Divine Tree of Life Bloodline Evolution. The random mission was completed, and the Divine Tree of Life Bloodline evolved. This was extremely good news for Yi Xian. With the Divine Tree of Life Bloodline improved, his resistance to poison would also increase. In addition, his life force recovery speed and chi recovery speed would also increase. This meant that he could use supernatural powers more vigorously in the future.
Blood-clad son of heaven, the fallen son of heaven, let me see how many good things you've gotten.
Yi Xian muttered and quickly went over to take the universe ring from the blood-clad son of heaven and earth, and then checked it. As expected, all the good things are with you.
Just the soul crystals alone have more than 200,000.
Yi Xian was speechless. Without another word, he swallowed all the soul crystals. Ding! The host has broken through.
Currently at the 4th level of the manifestation realm. Ding! Wei Zhentian has broken through.
Chapter 11:10.
Ding!
Host broke through.
Current level of manifestation realm.
Ding! Wei Zhentian broke through.
Ding!
Wei Zhentian broke through. 3 system notifications rang consecutively. There were still many ores and treasures in the blood-robed Emperor's universe ring, so Wei Zhentian broke through to the 5th level of manifestation realm. If the current Yi Xian were to face the blood-robed Emperor again, there was no need for him to run. He could probably kill him in minutes.
No. Impossible.
Young sect leader is dead.
Quick. Run. Go back and inform the sect leader.
Give up on Golden Fire City. The blood-robed sect disciples in the distance scattered and fled in all directions. They would never have thought that the blood-robed emperor, who was at the 5th level of manifestation realm, would die in the hands of Yi Xian, who was at the 3rd level of manifestation realm. Looking at the dozens of blood-robed sect disciples, Yi Xian thought to himself, the news of the blood-robed emperor's death will definitely reach the blood-robed sect. By then, the 8 major clans will have to bear the wrath of the sect leader. Therefore, he could not let these people go. He had to kill them all to buy some time. At that moment, he quickly charged over.
However, he did not notice that the blood-robed emperor who was lying on the ground had an unnoticeable change. The heart that was cut in half by the heartbreak sword technique suddenly flowed out a drop of blood that contained a great amount of energy. The drop of blood flew directly to the blood-robed emperor's dantian. Then, the blood-robed emperor's heart began to heal. At the same time, his entire body began to undergo a tremendous change. Yi Xian, who was in the distance, happened to kill all the blood-robed sect disciples and snatch their universe rings at the same time. However, at that moment, he suddenly felt an extraordinary aura and immediately turned his head to look. He was stunned by what he saw. The blood-robed emperor that he had just killed stood up on his own.
How was that possible? F***CK. Did he come back to life? Yi Xian was shocked. Even though he was used to seeing battle corpses and spirits, he did not understand how the blood-robed emperor came back to life. The blood-robed emperor had just died for a few seconds, but he came back to life again. What was going on? There was no way he wouldn't die after being hit by the heartbreak sword. If he didn't die, then what was with the notification sound? The random mission should have been completed. Impossible, the blood-robed Tianzi is already dead. My tree of life bloodline has already evolved once. This mission has already been completed. Yi Xian was very puzzled. However, he could see that the blood-robed Tianzi had become different. His aura was completely different from before. Since you didn't die, I'll kill you again. Yi Xian held the heaven-shaking sword in his hand tightly. Although he didn't know what had happened to the blood-clothed Prince of Heaven, he just had to kill him again. But at this moment, the blood-robed Tianzi in front of him suddenly stretched his muscles and bones. Ah, is this my new body? It doesn't feel that good.
The blood-clad Emperor of Heaven looked lazy.
Upon hearing this, Yi Xian trembled.
A new body?
Yi Xian raised his eyebrows. For a moment, his brain didn't understand what this meant. After the blood-clad Emperor of Heaven finished speaking, his gaze fell on Yi Xian and said, "Kid, thank you very much. Otherwise, I don't know when I could be reborn." Rebirth. When these 2 words fell into Yi Xian's ears, something immediately appeared in his mind. Rebirth realm? Undead realm? Yi Xian's eyes widened. Rebirth realm powerhouses could be reincarnated, while undead realm powerhouses could be reborn from a drop of blood. Could it be that the blood-clad Emperor of Heaven was a super powerhouse in his previous life? When he heard Zhao Kuan mention it before, he felt that it was very far away. But now, he actually encountered the reincarnation of a peerless powerhouse. It was simply too damn. Kid, although you helped me, you also killed me. I, Mo Shui, have to take revenge. Don't worry, I, Mo Shui, have rules. If you can withstand one move, I won't attack again. I'm particular about killing in one move.
The blood-clad Emperor of Heaven slowly said.
Mo Shui? Hearing this name, Yi Xian raised his eyebrows.
He was sure that the blood-clad Emperor of Heaven had awakened his inherited memories, which meant that he was reborn. In his previous life, the blood-clad Emperor of Heaven was called Mo Shui, and he was also an assassin.
Just when Yi Xian was stunned, Xiao!
A bloody light flashed and instantly pierced through Yi Xian's brilliant golden armor, and at the same time, his heart.
One move has passed. If you don't die, then it's your ability.
However, I, Mo Shui, have only failed once before I reincarnated.
After Mo Shui finished his attack, he directly turned and left.
Mo Shui and the blood-clad Emperor of Heaven were both the same person, but one was from the previous life and the other was from the current life. Since he was reborn, he naturally had to help the blood-clad sect solve some problems. These problems were naturally the four great families. At this moment, Yi Xian, who was pierced through the heart by Mo Shui, slowly fell from the sky.
Plop! His body fell to the ground, making a muffled sound.
However, what Mo Shui did not expect was that Yi Xian, who was pierced through the heart, was not dead.
Damn, this Mo Shui is so strong.
I have already broken through, but I don't even know how he attacked.
Yi Xian lay on the ground, pretending to be dead. His heart was in turmoil.
Fortunately, he had the Eye of Eternity. Otherwise, that sword would have been enough to kill him. Although the blood-clad Emperor of Heaven and Mo Shui were the same person, after Yi Xian killed the blood-clad Emperor of Heaven, Mo Shui awakened his inherited memories and recovered his previous life's memories. Yi Xian guessed that this Mo Shui was at least a rebirth realm expert who had reincarnated for some reason. Coincidentally, Mo Shui, a rebirth realm traveler, was encountered by him. If it was an ordinary person who had offended a rebirth realm expert at the manifestation realm, their mentality would have crumbled long ago. That Mo Shui said that he would only use one move. If I don't die after one move, then it's my ability.
Yi Xian recalled this matter.
This meant that if Mo Shui were to meet him again in the future, he wouldn't attack him.
However, would it be possible to meet him again?
Mo Shui was a rebirth realm expert in his previous life, and there were no netherworld realm experts here.
He would definitely not continue to stay here.
Not good. This Mo Shui stayed in the blood-clad sect in this life. Now that the blood-clad sect has conflicts with the four great families, this Mo Shui wouldn't go and slaughter the four great families, right?
Thinking of this, Yi Xian's expression changed greatly. Lua was still in the Zhao family.
Just as he was about to break through the air and leave, the system suddenly prompted him.
Chapter 11:11. Ding! Host has triggered a revenge mission. Kill Mo Shui. There is no time limit.
Reward: 3 devour points.
What? After hearing the notification, Yi Xian was stunned. Revenge mission: kill Mo Shui? No time limit? Kill my ass. Mo Shui was a rebirth state expert in his previous life.
Yi Xian couldn't help but curse in his heart. But in the next moment, he remembered that Mo Shui had just awakened his inherited memories and was still at the 5th level of the manifestation realm.
There were many big moves that he couldn't use.
Killing Mo Shui wasn't impossible. If he wanted to complete this revenge mission, he had to take advantage of the situation.
Otherwise, if Mo Shui grew stronger, he wouldn't be able to kill him.
Reward: 3 devour points.
That's too generous.
Yi Xian swallowed his saliva.
Accept.
He immediately accepted the revenge mission. After all, there was no time limit or punishment.
Why wouldn't he accept it?
Mo Shui might have already gone to the 4 major families, so Yi Xian had to hurry.
Eye of the Void.
Yi Xian immediately broke through the void and returned to the Zhao family.
Young master, why are you back?
Luo, who was cultivating beside the Zhao family spirit spring, sensed Yi Xian's aura and asked from afar.
Not good.
I killed a reincarnator in Golden Flame City. Now, he might be coming to destroy the 4 major families. Yi Xian quickly explained.
What? A reincarnator?
Luo was shocked. She quickly left the spirit spring and rushed towards Yi Xian. Manifestation, ethereal, fulfillment, fragmentation, nirvana, longevity, reincarnation. There was a huge gap between the manifestation realm and the rebirth realm.
I have a mission to kill this reincarnator. I only have one chance. Yi Xian said seriously. Luo Luo, hurry up and cultivate. Then we'll kill him. Luo Luo was stunned. She rolled her eyes and giggled. Interesting. A manifestation realm expert can kill a reincarnator. I have a new skill that might come in handy. I estimate that we still have 1 or 2 days. These things are for you. You must break through. Yi Xian passed the heaven and earth treasure to Luo Luo. With these, I will be able to break through within a day. Young master, don't worry. Luo Luo giggled. She leaped high into the air and headed for the spirit spring. Yi Xian fell into deep thought as he watched Luo Luo leave. He, who was at the 3rd level of the manifestation realm, had killed the 5th level of the manifestation realm blood-robed Emperor of Heaven. After the blood-robed Emperor of Heaven died, he had awakened his inherited memories and become a reincarnator. However, his realm did not change and remained at the 5th level of the manifestation realm. However, Mo Shui, who was only at the 5th level of the manifestation stage, directly killed him, who had broken through to the 4th level of the manifestation stage. This strength was so formidable, so he had to break through again as soon as possible. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to go against Mo Shui. Zhao Kuan, come to my place. Yi Xian immediately gave the order to Zhao Kuan. Soon, Zhao Kuan arrived. Yi Xian immediately told Zhao Kuan what had happened. After hearing it, Zhao Kuan was also shocked. Reincarnator. Zhao Kuan stuttered. The reincarnation realm was the 7th realm of the 9 connecting realms, followed by the imperishable realm and the connecting realm. That's right, a reincarnator, so I have to increase my strength as soon as possible. Give me all the information on the 3rd level of the manifestation realm and above in your Zhao family. Yi Xian nodded. Currently, in the Zhao family, my great-grandfather is at the 6th level of the manifestation realm, my 2 great-granduncles are at the 5th level of the manifestation realm, and my grandfather, father, and the others are at the 4th level of the manifestation realm. Zhao Kuan replied. I can't control those at the 5th level of the manifestation realm, but I can control those at the 4th level of the manifestation realm. After hearing this, Yi Xian carefully planned in his heart, then said, I'm leaving the Zhao family now. Call your father and the others out one by one in the deep mountain that we passed by on our way to the Zhao family. Yes, master. Zhao Kuan's emotions didn't fluctuate in the slightest. He knew that Yi Xian wanted to control the entire Zhao family. Just in case, Yi Xian still brought Luo Luo along. After all, the strength of Luo Luo's soul was extraordinary. Even if she hadn't broken through to the 3rd level of the manifestation realm, she could still be of help. At that moment, Yi Xian directly left and went to the deep mountain outside the Zhao clan. Luo Luo continued to cultivate as she waited for Zhao Kuan's arrival. Soon, Yi Xian sensed a powerful aura approaching. Kuaner, who's so mysterious? A middle-aged man followed behind Zhao Kuan and asked curiously. Father, you can just follow me. Zhao Kuan directly brought his father, Zhao Mu, in. At this moment, Yi Xian was concealing his aura. After Zhao Mu entered, he immediately used the burning eye on him. What? Zhao Mu's heart ached as he hastily grabbed his chest and cried out in pain. Father, what happened to you? Zhao Kuan pretended not to know anything and asked. He naturally knew that it was Yi Xian who did it. After all, he had once endured the burning eye. Could it be that something went wrong with my cultivation? Zhao Mu had some doubts in his heart, but in the next moment, he knew that he was hit by a mental attack. Someone used a mental attack to ambush me. Kuan, be careful. Zhao Mu didn't forget to remind him. However, just as he finished speaking, Zhao Kuan suddenly attacked his biological father. Bang! Zhao Mu was sent flying, crashing into a few trees and breaking them. Kuan, are you? Zhao Mu was still in shock. It was fine that he was ambushed, but the attacker was actually his own son. For a moment, he suspected that Zhao Kuan was impersonated. Then, 2 figures darted out. They were Yi Xian and Luo Luo. Burning Eye. Charm. The 2 of them directly used mental attacks on Zhao Mu. Zhao Mu wanted to close his eyes, but in this situation, closing his eyes was equivalent to courting death. Although manifestation realm experts had spiritual senses and could sense their surroundings, compared to spiritual senses, their eyes were still more useful. Eye of Control. Ding! Control successful. Before Zhao Mu could make a move, he was directly controlled by Yi Xian. Of course, Luolua's contribution was not small. Apart from charm, she also had other mental attacks. Now, Yi Xian controlled the current patriarch of the Zhao family, Zhao Mu, so he hurriedly asked Zhao Mu to return and retrieve his belongings. At the same time, he used the same method to lure another person. Yi Xian broke through the void and sent Zhao Mu and Zhao Kuan back. Half an hour later, Zhao Mu brought another person over. This person was Zhao Mu's younger cousin. His strength was also at the 4th level of the manifestation realm. "Cousin, why did you bring me here?" Zhao Mu's younger cousin was very puzzled. At this moment, Yi Xian and Luoluo appeared. Seeing this, Zhao Mu directly handed over his yin and yang ring. "There are many things, but I'm still a distance away from breaking through." Chapter 11-12. As the patriarch of the Zhao family, Zhao Mu had a lofty status, but this didn't mean that he could casually use the family's items, because there were still 3 people watching over him. After Yi Xian devoured the 200,000 soul crystals, his strength and soul strength greatly increased. Then, he began to control Zhao Mu's cousin. Soon, this person was also controlled by him, and then Yi Xian sent him back. After repeating this, Yi Xian quickly controlled the 10 4th-level manifestation realm experts in the Zhao family. At the same time, he directly broke through to the 5th level of the manifestation realm. Then, Yi Xian used the same method to lure out the 2 5th-level manifestation realm experts in the Zhao family, and then controlled them. However, it still couldn't make Yi Xian break through to the 6th level of the manifestation realm. The difference was too great. Although the Zhao family is the head of the 4 great families, their properties spread over more than 10 cities. The Zhao family actually doesn't have a lot of things. Yi Xian returned to the Zhao family and pondered in his heart. Fortunately, the 4 upper families were relatively close. It only took half a day's journey, so Yi Xian decided to go to the Chen family next door. "You two, go inform the Zhao family's great master and tell him to be on guard. Don't let Mo Shui assassinate him," Yi Xian reminded the 2 people in front of him. The 2 people in front of him were the 2nd and 3rd in command of the Zhao family. They were both at the 5th level of the manifestation realm, and their status was second only to the Zhao family's great master. Mo Shui seemed to be a peerless assassin in his previous life, and his assassination methods were probably not that easy. In his eyes, even a 6th-level manifestation realm expert would die without a doubt as long as he found the opportunity. Moreover, this Mo Shui had strict requirements for himself. If he failed in one attack, he wouldn't attack again. However, Yi Xian heard him muttering to himself before that he had never failed in his thousands of years as an assassin. "This time, it's really too dangerous. Although I was lucky enough to survive, if I were to face this Mo Shui again, who knows what he'll do?" Yi Xian was very worried. This was the first time that this revenge quest had appeared, and the rewards were quite generous. As long as he killed Mo Shui, he would receive 3 Devour points. If he had 3 Devour points, he could strengthen his Gemini bloodline thrice and increase his strength by 30%. If he could gather 2 more points, Wei Zhentian would be able to level up again. At that time, he would truly be able to achieve the return of all swords. Ding! 10,000 swords return to origin is off cooldown. Just as Yi Xian was about to move, the system suddenly notified him. He could use his trump card again. Just as he was about to leave, Yi Xian suddenly changed his mind. Instead of going to the Chen clan, he might as well kill his way to the Blood-clad sect. With his speed, it would take less than a day for him to reach the Blood-clad sect from Golden Flame City. "I've decided. Let's go to the Blood-clad sect," Yi Xian thought to himself. He broke through the void and returned to Golden Flame City. It had only been a day since Mo Shui had awakened his inherited memory. However, during this time, everyone in Golden Flame City had left with their luggage. Yi Xian was too lazy to care about this and rushed to the Blood-clad sect. The Blood-clad sect was comparable to the combination of the 4 great clans. There was a 7th level of the manifestation realm expert in the sect. However, Yi Xian was already at the 5th level of the manifestation realm. With the return of all swords, what could he do against a 7th level of the manifestation realm expert? As long as this trip went smoothly, he might be able to break through to the 6th level of the manifestation realm. However, he did not have much time left. Although nothing happened to the Zhao clan when he left, it did not mean that the other 3 clans were safe. Perhaps the other 3 clans had already been annihilated? Therefore, He had to seize every second to destroy the blood-clad sect before Mo Shui did. Young master, I've broken through to the 3rd level of the manifestation realm. While Yi Xian was on his way to the blood-clad sect, Luo Luo sent him a message. In just a few days, Luo Luo had broken through from the 1st level of the manifestation realm to the 3rd level of the manifestation realm. This talent was definitely unique. Be careful. Mo Shui was a rebirth realm expert in his previous life. He might be able to break through once in a day. Yi Xian hurriedly reminded her. The rebirth realm was after the immortality realm. This meant that Mo Shui was an old monster who had lived for thousands of years. After living for so many years, his comprehension of realms was definitely extremely deep. It was definitely not something that Yi Xian and the others could compare to. In his previous life, Mo Shui spent 200 years to break through to the immortality realm, and another 1,000 years to break through to the rebirth realm. In this life, he might not even need 500 years to return to the rebirth realm. This was the strength of a rebirth realm traveler. After half a day, Yi Xian finally entered the blood-clad sect's territory. The blood-clad sect was powerful and had superb assassination techniques. They could be considered the overlord of this area. The 4 great clans did not want to have a conflict with the blood-clad sect, but the blood-clad sect had gone too far. Therefore, the 4 great clans rose up to resist. Yi Xian disguised himself as a blood-clad sect protector, concealed his presence, and approached. That Mo Shui reincarnated, but he might have returned to the blood-clad sect. If we meet, it will be a tragedy. Yi Xian thought to himself as he arrived at the blood-clad sect's mountain gate. The blood-clad sect's mountain gate was guarded by 2 second-level manifestation realm disciples. Yi Xian walked over and directly asked, "Has the young sect master returned?" When the 2 guarding disciples saw Yi Xian wearing a protector's uniform, they nodded in unison and said, "He's back." This answer also shocked Yi Xian.
Then is the young sect master in the sect now?
Yi Xian asked again.
The young sect master returned yesterday, but he left again, one of the disciples replied.
Yes.
Moreover, after the young sect master returned, I heard that even the old sect master was alerted. He was also very respectful to the young sect master.
The other disciple said in surprise. Very respectful. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes.
This meant that Mo Shui had revealed that he was a reincarnator.
A reincarnation realm expert was a colossus to the blood-clad sect. Even if the blood-clad sect was 100 times, 1,000 times, or even 10,000 times stronger, it was impossible for a reincarnation realm expert to appear. Therefore, the blood-clad sect must have worshipped Mo Shui like a god. Although Mo Shui had reincarnated, this new body of his still had relatives.
His father was the blood-clad sect master, so it was natural for him to return and take care of him. However, since Mo Shui had left the blood-clad sect, perhaps he had already started to make his move.
Wait, Mo Shui returned yesterday, and his speed was even faster than mine. Yi Xian thought of this problem and immediately swallowed his saliva, his heart trembling slightly. He had spent more than half a day to come from Golden Flame City, but Mo Shui had returned yesterday, and his speed was even faster than his. Chapter 11:13. Regardless of whether Mo Shui was at the 5th or 6th level of the manifestation realm, Yi Xian could not see through him. After all, the former was a reincarnator. Next, Yi Xian had to face another problem. Should he infiltrate and gather information, or should he just kill his way in? The Bloodcloth sect had an old man at the 7th level of the manifestation realm. If he directly killed his way in, he would definitely be beaten up.
However, if he used the Eye of Control to infiltrate, he could control the experts of the Bloodcloth sect one by one, just like the Zhao family.
Immediately, Yi Xian made his decision. Infiltrate. Yi Xian pretended to be the Bloodcloth sect's protector and entered the Bloodcloth sect. The Bloodcloth sect's elders were at the 4th and 5th level of the manifestation realm. These people were Yi Xian's targets. As expected of the local tyrant, there are so many experts. Yi Xian had just entered the Bloodcloth sect when he felt over 100 auras, some of which were extremely powerful. When these auras were added together, it was enough to make his heart palpitate. Currently, there were nearly 100 4th-level manifestation realm experts in the Bloodcloth sect, and there were more than a dozen 5th-level manifestation realm experts. They were even stronger than the 4 great families combined. However, in Yi Xian's eyes, these people were huge amounts of experience. Using the Eye of Perception,
He directly found the nearest 4th-level manifestation realm bloodcloth sect elder and controlled him without a second thought. Currently, Xian was at the 5th level of the manifestation realm, so he only needed a glance to control a 4th-level manifestation realm expert.
Give me all of your wealth.
Xian gave the 4th-level manifestation realm elder an order.
Yes, master.
The bloodcloth sect elder nodded and handed the universe ring to Xian.
Xian checked it.
As expected, there were not many things. The elder had probably used them all up or given them to his disciples or family.
After all, strength was the key.
There was too much wealth that was not used. It seems that even if I control all of the 4th-level manifestation realm bloodcloth sect elders, I might not be able to break through, Xian pondered. He was currently at the 5th level of the manifestation realm. Although he could control a 5th-level manifestation realm bloodcloth sect elder, he might need to use some methods, such as beating him up. Forget it, let's kill all the 4th-level manifestation realm elders first.
Xian didn't think too much about it.
He directly stabbed the blood-robed sect elder to death with his sword and put away the corpse. The bloodcloth sect was an assassin force, and the people inside were proficient in the art of assassination. However, no one would have thought that Xian would actually infiltrate the bloodcloth sect and assassinate them.
Mo Shui had already left last night.
Perhaps he had already arrived at the nearest 4 great clans and started his massacre.
Therefore, Xian could not afford to be careless.
This was because he knew that after Mo Shui helped the bloodcloth sect clean up the trouble, he would probably leave.
This was Xian's first and last chance. If he wanted to kill Mo Shui and complete his revenge mission, he only had one chance. He had to succeed.
Very soon, Xian, who had infiltrated the bloodcloth sect, relied on the Eye of Control to continuously assassinate these bloodcloth sect elders. In less than half an hour, several dozen 4th-level manifestation realm bloodcloth sect elders were secretly assassinated by Xian. However, Xian did not obtain much spoils of war. Now that all 4th-level manifestation realm elders have fallen, perhaps someone will notice.
I must move faster.
At this moment, Xian, who was in a corner of the bloodcloth sect, thought in his heart. His next target was the bloodcloth sect elders in those halls.
These elders were extremely wealthy.
If he succeeded, he could break through to the 6th level of the manifestation realm. However, it was not so simple to control these 5th-level manifestation realm elders. Since this was the case, then Xian did not need to control them and directly assassinated them. This was because he was currently disguised as a bloodcloth sect elder. The bloodcloth sect is an assassin force. After accepting an assassination mission in the Hall of Experience, I will go to the Alchemy Hall to receive the reward. Xian thought in his heart as he walked towards the bloodcloth sect's Alchemy Hall. The bloodcloth sect's Alchemy Hall had a total of 3 5th-level manifestation realm elders overseeing it. However, as long as these 3 elders did not gather together to play Fight the Landlord, then Xian could assassinate them one by one. Xian entered the Alchemy Hall and directly walked towards the back of the Alchemy Hall. It just so happens that the 3 elders are separated. Xian sensed for a moment and the corners of his mouth slightly curled up.
This way, it would be easier for him to move.
Xian arrived at the residence of the elder, whose aura was weaker than the other 2.
Who is it?
An aged voice came from inside.
Elder Chong, I have something to discuss with you.
Xian disguised his voice as an elder.
It's you. Come in.
Elder Chong recognized this voice and responded. The person Xian was currently disguised as was the first 4th-level manifestation realm elder that he had assassinated after entering the bloodcloth sect. His name was Jiang Qingxin and he was the nephew of this elder Chong inside. With this layer of relationship, the assassination would not be too big of a problem.
Xian walked into Elder Chang's residence.
At this moment, the latter was in front of an alchemy cauldron and carefully grinding materials.
Why are you looking for me?
Elder Chong asked without even raising his head.
Uncle, it's like this.
I picked up a treasure map some time ago, but I can't understand it, so I want to let Uncle see if you have any clues. Xian still used the same method to approach this Elder Chong.
Give it to me.
This Elder Chong did not seem to be very interested and only spoke slowly.
Xian frowned and walked over.
At the same time, he handed over the treasure map in his hand. Uncle, I heard that this is the treasure map of the Lin family from several hundred years ago.
Xian hurriedly added.
The Lin family?
Hearing this, Elder Chong finally stopped what he was doing and raised his head in shock. Several hundred years ago, the Lin family was a great force that was comparable to the Bloodcloth sect. However, because they provoked a Nether Passage realm powerhouse, they were annihilated. Elder Chong started to become interested. He took the treasure map that Yi Xian handed over and glanced at it. However, he did not have any clues. Of course he could not tell. After all, this was casually drawn by Yi Xian. It would be strange if he could tell anything.
Uncle, what are you doing?
Yi Xian pretended to be curious and asked. This is a pill formula that the sect master gave me. It's called the Jade Blood Golden Pill. I'm refining a type of supplementary pill for the Jade Blood Golden Pill, Elder Chong replied casually. Advancement pill? Yi Xian was shocked. The refining material for the Jade Blood Golden Pill was actually a supplementary pill. This was very rare. Generally, refining pills directly used the raw materials to refine. However, the Jade Blood Golden Pill required supplementary pills in addition to the raw materials. Hence it was called an advancement pill. That's right. It's an advancement pill. This Jade Blood Golden Pill is a divine pill for our Bloodcloth sect. As long as I can successfully refine it, our Bloodcloth sect might have a Nether Passage realm powerhouse. Chapter 11:14. Nether Passage Realm. Yi Xian muttered in his heart. Currently, the Bloodcloth sect only had one expert at the 7th level of the Manifestation Realm, which was far from the Nether Passage Realm. Uncle, is Lord Mo Shui really a reincarnator? Yi Xian immediately followed the vine and asked. Of course. How else do you think the Jade Blood Golden Pill came about? Lord Mo Shui's awakening is our sect's great fortune. Even if Lord Mo Shui leaves in the future, our Bloodcloth sect will continue to prosper. Elder Chong subconsciously answered, then suddenly raised his head and asked in shock. Strange, how do you know about this? You shouldn't have the authority to know about this. Cough. Yi Xian immediately smiled awkwardly, not knowing how to answer. The atmosphere suddenly became awkward. The fact that the Bloodcloth sect's young sect master Shui had become the current Mo Shui was only known by the elders at the 5th level of the Manifestation Realm and the successive sect masters. Logically speaking, Jianghu shouldn't have the authority to know, so how did he know? Forget it, since you know, you should understand the importance of this matter. Lord Mo Shui is a reincarnator, a super expert at the rebirth realm in his previous life. This matter must not be leaked, or else Lord Mo Shui will be in danger if those powerful sects find out. Elder Chong didn't think too much about it and solemnly reminded Jiang Qingxin because he suddenly recalled that Jiang Qingxin's father was also a 5th level Manifestation Realm elder. Jiang Qingxin should have heard about Mo Shui from his father. Yes, I will definitely keep my mouth shut. Yi Xian blushed with shame. After a pause he continued, now that Lord Mo Shui has awakened his inherited memories, his cultivation has probably improved by leaps and bounds. I wonder if he has reached the Nether Passage Realm? Are you kidding? Although a reincarnator was a super expert in his previous life, there are many things that he can't use now. Moreover, martial artists mostly rely on cultivation resources to cultivate. How can it be so easy to break through? Elder Chong coldly snorted. In that case, Lord Mo Shui is only at the 5th level of the Manifestation Realm? Yi Xian's eyes suddenly lit up. This was good news for him. Every rebirth realm expert is a super expert who has lived for thousands of years. Their strength is also obtained through thousands of years of bitter cultivation. Although their cultivation speed after reincarnation is hundreds or thousands of times faster than us, it is not possible for them to break through overnight. However, Lord Mo Shui gave the sect master the Jade Blood Golden Pill formula so that he could refine the Jade Blood Golden Pill and quickly recover his strength. It is said that as long as this pill is refined, Lord Mo Shui will be able to quickly recover to the Nether Passage Realm, or even break through to the Fulfillment Realm and establish natal palaces. After Elder Chong finished speaking, Yi Xian shuddered violently. Fulfillment Realm. As expected of a reincarnator, he can break through to the Fulfillment Realm with just a random pill. If he can refine the Jade Blood Golden Pill this time, then I probably won't have another chance. Yi Xian thought inwardly. He was only at the 5th level of the Manifestation Realm. He was still far from the Nether Passage Realm, let alone the Fulfillment Realm. If this mission failed, then he probably wouldn't have another chance. This was because once Mo Shui escaped, he probably wouldn't be able to find him. At that time, Mo Shui would hide and bitterly cultivate. Therefore he had to succeed in one go. I heard that Lord Mo Shui went out again. Where did he go? Yi Xian asked again. He went to annihilate the 8 great families. These 8 great families are really courting death. Do they really think that our bloodcloth sect hasn't sent out experts because we are afraid of those 4 6th level manifestation realm experts? We just want to give our disciples a chance to gain experience. Elder Chong cursed angrily and continued, this time, Mo Shui personally went out because the 8 great families have the key to the trans-realm teleportation formation. Trans-realm teleportation formation? Hearing this name, Yi Xian was shocked. Why did he mention the trans-realm teleportation formation? Lord Mo Shui was originally from the glazed light sacred ground. Therefore, after we refine the jade blood gold pill, Mo Shui will return to the glazed light sacred ground, Elder Chong continued to answer. I see. Yi Xian's eyes flickered. He didn't expect Mo Shui to be from the glazed light sacred ground. It just so happened that he was also going to the glazed light sacred ground. After Mo Shui obtained the 3 keys, he could kill Mo Shui and save a lot of effort. Now that Yi Xian had finished asking his questions, and Mo Shui's realm and movements were more or less grasped, it was about time for Elder Chong to be on his way. I can't understand your treasure map right away. Take this and show it to your father. The most important thing now is to refine the pill. I can't delay. As Elder Chong spoke, he raised his head and handed the treasure map in his hand to Yi Xian. However, at this moment, whoosh! A ray of sword light pierced straight into his heart. You! Elder Chong looked at Yi Xian in shock. He couldn't understand why his nephew would attack him. In the next moment, he realized what had happened. 5th level of the manifestation realm. The Jianghu in front of him was an imposter. However, by the time he realized what had happened, his heart had already been torn in half by the sword aura, and he died instantly. Then, Yi Xian hurriedly went over to collect Elder Chang's corpse and belongings. There are quite a lot of things, but I still have a long way to go before I can break through. Yi Xian thought to himself. He began to check Elder Chang's Jianghu ring and found a pill formula in it. It was the Jade Blood Golden Pill. The Jade Blood Golden Pill was a divine pill to the Bloodcloth sect. 1 pill could increase one's cultivation by 100 years. However, it was not very useful to Yi Xian. Although he had learned the Jade Blood technique, it was useless because the Jade Blood technique needed to be continuously circulated. Even the disciples of the Bloodcloth sect would have to cultivate it for a few years. The Bloodcloth sect had the materials to refine the Jade Blood Golden Pill, so even if he consumed it normally, he wouldn't gain much from it. There were 3 elders in the alchemy hall. Now that one of them had been assassinated, Yi Xian was going to assassinate the other 2. Then, he would ransack the entire alchemy hall. Elder Yuan, I have something to discuss with you. Yi Xian arrived at the 2nd elder's residence and shouted. Then, someone opened the courtyard door and let Yi Xian in. What happened next was needless to say. Yi Xian used the treasure map method to get close to Elder Yuan. Then, he suddenly attacked when Elder Yuan was studying the treasure map. Puff! A cold gleam flashed and Elder Yuan fell to the ground. Yi Xian hurriedly put the corpse into his Qian ring. Not enough. Yi Xian's eyes flickered. He felt helpless. It seemed that he had to assassinate the 3rd elder in the alchemy hall. Chapter 11:15. The 3 elders of the alchemy hall were all busy refining the Jade Blood Gold Pellets auxiliary pill. However, this auxiliary pill was nothing much, so they all refined it in their own courtyards. Yi Xian approached this elder's residence and prepared to use the same method to assassinate him. However, just as he used the same method to enter the last elder's courtyard and was about to speak, suddenly, an aura swept into Yi Xian's sensing range. This aura was the strongest in the entire Bloodcloth sect. 7th level of the manifestation realm. What the F***CK? Yi Xian cursed in his heart. The entire Bloodcloth sect only had 1 person at the 7th level of the manifestation realm, who was the previous sect master. Why did the old sect master come to the alchemy hall? The old sect master's arrival gave him a huge fright. A 7th level manifestation realm expert had just landed in front of him. When Elder Song felt this powerful aura, he also stopped what he was doing and raised his head to look at the old sect master. Elder Song, how is it? The blood-clothed sect's old sect leader glanced at Yi Xian and asked. Yi Xian was disguised as Jianghu. Although he was also an elder in the Bloodcloth sect, he was not worth mentioning in front of the old sect master. Therefore,
The old sect master had to be more discreet.
I should be able to refine the auxiliary pill within 3 days. Elder Song answered honestly.
Very good. The old sect master nodded in satisfaction and asked, "Where did the other 2 elders go?"
Them?
Elder Song was stunned for a moment and shook his head. "I'm not sure either."
At this moment, the old sect master's attention fell on Xianxia. From the beginning until now, he felt that something was amiss. After carefully sizing him up, he asked, "Elder Jiang, did something go wrong with your jade blood art cultivation? Why is your aura so strange?" Hearing this question, Xianxia's heart trembled violently. An expert was an expert. He immediately noticed it. "Old sect master, I have indeed encountered some problems in my cultivation recently, but I can solve them myself," Xianxia quickly replied. "Oh, that's good."
The old sect leader of the blood-clad sect nodded.
He then looked at Elder Song and said, "Elder Song, do your best. I'll be leaving first." The jade blood golden pellet was related to the future of the entire blood-clad sect, so the old sect master personally supervised it. The moment he finished speaking, he transformed into a gust of wind and left Elder Song's residence.
Seeing the old sect master leave, Xianxia let out a sigh of relief.
Although he was not afraid of the old sect master, the cooldown of 10,000 returning swords was too long, so he wanted to save it for Mo Shui. If he used it here, how was he going to deal with Mo Shui? "Elder Jiang, I have something urgent to do right now. If you don't have anything too important, then let's talk about it next time,"
Elder Song said with a frown.
"Then, all right." Xianxia nodded slightly, then quickly left. He originally wanted to use the same method to assassinate Elder Song.
However, when Elder Song finished speaking, he realized that the old sect master of the blood-clad sect did not leave.
Instead, he was observing him from afar.
If not for the eye of perception, he would not have discovered the old sect master of the blood-clad sect. Fortunately, he had the eye of perception, or else he would have been exposed.
The old sect master of the blood-clad sect is said to have assassinated a 7th-level manifestation realm expert when he was at the 6th level of the manifestation realm. He is extremely sharp. He is probably suspecting me now. Xianxia thought to himself. If he did not suspect him, why would the old sect master secretly observe him?
Therefore, he must have given himself away and caught the old sect master's attention.
Although he was wearing a mask and his voice was Jiang Qingxin's, it was very difficult to change a person's habits. The most important reason was the jade blood technique. The aura on his body was too strange. The 2 elders and Elder Song did not discover it because they were at the same level as Xianxia. However, the old sect master was at the 7th level of the manifestation realm. He was 2 levels higher than Elder Song and Xianxia. After leaving Elder Song's residence, Xianxia also walked towards Jiang Qingxin's residence. At the same time, he felt that the old sect master was following him closely. Almost all of the 4th-level manifestation realm elders of the blood-clad sect are dead. The old sect master has probably already discovered. Xianxia hesitated. He wondered if he should directly expose himself and assassinate the old sect master of the blood-clad sect. However, just as he was pondering, "Xiao!" an ear-piercing sound rang out. "What?" Xianxia was shocked.
He could feel the old sect master following behind him, rapidly flying towards him.
So he directly attacked to test me? If that's the case, then let's fight.
Xianxia shouted angrily in his heart.
Brilliant eye! In an instant, Xianxia was enveloped by the brilliant golden armor. His aura skyrocketed. Heartbreak sword art.
He turned around and directly stabbed at the old sect master.
What a guy! You really aren't Elder Jiang.
The old sect master of the blood-clad sect shouted in a low voice and attacked to disperse the sword.
Xianxia stood on the ground and looked at the old sect master.
He asked, "How did you discover me?"
"Intuition."
The old sect master of the blood-clad sect coldly replied.
He continued, "The sect is now missing dozens of elders. It was you who assassinated them, right?" "That's right. It was all my doing. If you hadn't appeared, Elder Song would have already died at my hands." Xianxia admitted it immediately. Hearing this, the old sect master felt his face heat up slightly. A sense of shame arose spontaneously. Our blood-clad sect is proficient in all kinds of assassination methods. However, someone managed to infiltrate our sect and assassinate so many of our elders. This is truly a disgrace. However, I am very curious about your disguise technique. If you can hand it over, I will leave you with an intact corpse. The old sect master of the blood-clad sect spoke with a confident expression.
After all, he was at the 7th level of the manifestation realm, while Yixian was only at the 5th level of the manifestation realm.
Even if he didn't make a move, he reckoned that Yixian wouldn't be able to walk out of the blood-clad sect alive. Although the blood-clad sect had lost so many elders, there were still more than 10 people in the upper echelon. 3 of them were at the 6th level of the manifestation realm. While the 2 were talking, a large number of blood-clad sect disciples gathered around. What? Elder Jiang was actually someone else in disguise? How is this possible? It can't be wrong. He admitted it himself.
No wonder so many elders are missing.
They were all assassinated. For something like this to happen to our blood-clad sect, it's simply too inconceivable. Where did this person come from? Not only is his disguise technique amazing, his assassination methods are also extremely powerful. He didn't leave any traces behind.
If it wasn't for the old sect master, he would have assassinated our elders.
The surrounding blood-clad sect disciples and protectors were all shocked. Chapter 11:16. All right, since you want to die so early, I'll fulfill your wish. The bloodcloth sect's old sect leader bellowed.
Although he was at the 7th level of the manifestation realm and Yixian was only at the 5th level of the manifestation realm, it was nothing for an assassin to bully the weak. However, before he could finish his sentence, a voice rang out from behind him.
Rip! 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 A series of crisp sounds rang out, causing the bloodcloth sect's old sect leader to pause. He turned his head and saw many corpses falling from the sky. The ones who attacked were actually the 3rd level of the manifestation realm protectors of the bloodcloth sect. In the blink of an eye, dozens of bloodcloth sect disciples had fallen. Accomplices? The bloodcloth sect's old sect leader was shocked. There were actually people who had sneaked in, but he did not notice them in the surroundings.
However, the commotion had already attracted the attention of the other 5th level of the manifestation realm elders.
Those protectors would probably be dealt with soon. However, the corners of Yixian's mouth curled up slightly. Just now, he had looked around and controlled a few protectors to create such a scene. Even if these protectors were all dead, he could continue to control them. After all, with his current eye power, controlling 100 people was not a problem.
Brat, I'll give you one more chance.
The old sect leader did not attack but continued to ask. He wanted Yixian's disguise technique very much because even he did not have evidence to prove that Yixian was a disguise. If he could master this disguise technique, then the bloodcloth sect would be awesome in the future. Chance my ass. Yixian did not say anything and directly stabbed his sword at the old sect leader several times. Mo Shui had already left last night and was very likely at the 4 major clans now, so he had to be quick.
If that's the case, then I'll personally send you on your way.
The old sect leader bellowed and attacked as well. He estimated that he could find what he wanted from Yixian's universe ring. After all, Yixian was currently in disguise.
Bang! A wave of air swept through the air.
Facing an opponent 2 levels higher than him, Yixian had to use his trump card. However, the target of this trump card was not the blood-clad sect's old sect master. Instead, it was the elders that had hurried over. 6th level of the manifestation realm, 2 of them. Yixian sensed 2 auras that were slightly weaker than the old sect master.
He immediately fled, leaving the old sect master behind as he dashed towards the 2 of them.
What incredible speed! Stop him for me! The old sect leader of the bloodcloth sect thought that Yixian was going to escape, so he quickly shouted. The 2 6th level manifestation realm martial artists who had arrived late were also former sect masters of the bloodcloth sect. When they heard this, they also attacked the madly running Yixian. 12 blood pillars trap him. The 2 of them unleashed their divine arts at the same time. A total of 24 blood pillars appeared and smashed towards Yixian. This move again? Yixian narrowed his eyes. Back then, the blood-clad emperor had used this move to trap him, but he had used the Eye of the Void to kill the blood-clad emperor instead. Unfortunately, this time, he did not leave behind a void tracker behind the 2 6th level manifestation realm martial artists. Therefore, the move from that day could not be repeated. Tisk tisk, I'll let you assassins see my ability. Yixian sneered and allowed himself to be trapped by the blood pillars. At the same time, when the surrounding people lost their vision, he directly broke through the void and left. However, he did not leave the blood-clad sect. Instead, he went to a deserted corner. Then, he quickly changed his clothes and appearance, once again disguising himself as a blood-clad sect disciple.
As long as he did not take the initiative to approach the old sect master and the 6th-level manifestation realm martial artist, no one should discover him. In the distance, the old sect master and the other 2 6th-level manifestation realm martial artists quickly swept over to take a look and said in unison, "How is this possible?" Xianxia was not trapped within the 12 blood pillars. Instead, he had directly disappeared. Not only is that brat's disguise skill amazing, he actually disappeared in front of me. What is his background? The blood-clad sect master was extremely shocked. Although Xianxia had disguised himself once again, the battle in the air had not yet ended. Corpses fell from the air one after another, all of them blood-clad sect disciples. The blood-clad sect's guardians who were controlled the first time had already been killed by the elders who rushed over. However, as long as Xianxia swept the blood pillars again, many people would be controlled again. At this moment, there were already hundreds of blood-clad sect disciples that had fallen. Find him. That brat must still be in the blood-clad sect. Find him. The blood-clad sect master was so angry that he was blowing his beard. What a joke. How could a cooked duck fly away? The dignified blood-clad sect had actually been infiltrated by someone. Furthermore, dozens of elders had been assassinated. In the end, this person had even escaped from under the eyes of so many people. If this matter were to spread, the blood-clad sect would lose all face. The blood-clad sect master was certain that Xianxia was still in the blood-clad sect because of his outstanding intuition. He had indeed guessed correctly. However, there were thousands of disciples in the blood-clad sect. How could he possibly find Xianxia? During the time when the blood-clad sect's experts were investigating, Xianxia had already hidden himself far away. He had been watching the blood-clad sect for over 10 minutes, but he was unable to find anything. However, in these 10 minutes, over 100 people had betrayed them and killed their own sect members. The blood-clad sect master was so angry that he clenched his teeth. He did not understand what had happened. Why did so many people betray them? One must know that these traitors were all true blood-clad sect's guardians and disciples. They were not Xianxia's companions in disguise. I don't have much eye power left. I'd better rest for a while. When the blood-clad sect master thinks that I've left, I'll deal with the remaining elders in one fell swoop.
Xianxia hid in a corner and looked at the blood-clad sect that was already in a mess. Half an hour later. Sect master, we haven't found him. Sect master, we haven't found him in the back mountain either.
Sect master, all the corpses of the dead have been buried.
A red-haired middle-aged man stood in the air. He was the current sect master of the blood-clad sect, as well as the blood-clad son of Heaven's father, Xianxia. Just now, he had arrived late and missed the battle.
As the sect master, he was very angry.
Lord Mo Shui had just left, and an expert came in to assassinate him. Could the two be related? Xianxia thought to himself. Although the blood-clad son of heaven was his son, ever since Mo Shui had awakened his inherited memories, he no longer dared to call him Mo Shui. Being able to give birth to a reincarnator was a supreme honor. After that, the blood-clad sect searched for more than an hour, but there were no clues. Therefore they gave up. Everyone, listen up. This person is good at disguising himself. If you notice anyone else acting strangely, report it immediately. Xianxia shouted loudly. Yes.